We got to get out there and play first. Do I like where our team is? Yes. I don't know how we're going to do, but I like the team. I like the way they work.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from HitThatLine.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Got a chance to hear from Kendall Briles this Saturday about how his offense looks. We've talked to Barry Odom, we talked to Coach Pittman, and a bunch of other players. But what does Coach Briles think about his offense in 2021 with KJ Jefferson at the helm? There's not really a quarterback battle right now for Arkansas. KJ's the 1, Malik's the 2, a couple guys battling for 3. But there are some intriguing quarterback competitions at the NFL. And I want to discuss some of them this morning, some college guys that you know very well that are trying to get the starting job for their respective teams. Coming off the weekend, we'll get into our best and worst of the weekend here on the Morning Rush. But as we kick off a Hot Take Monday here, I'd like to start with this headline from the Organian. An Alabama man thought he'd been shot by an intruder. It turns out it was his wife's boyfriend secretly living in their house. Let me read that one more time. An Alabama man thought he'd been shot by an intruder. It turns out it was his wife's boyfriend that had secretly been living in their house for over a year. And that's where we'll start this morning.
All right, it's a Hot Take Monday. I don't know if it's a hot take. That's a hot story.
Most Alabama thing ever.
Exactly. Brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 on 549 in Springdale. Peace of mind with lifetime warranties on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 on 549 in Springdale.
So I know that's a headline that took a lot of not only just Alabama people, everyone that read that in the Organian by storm, but there's a lot of headlines that came out of another scrimmage this weekend. There's some people concerned about injuries. I know there's some people wondering about what the offense, what the defense is going to look like. Again, media was not allowed. We were just getting it based on information that the coaches, players, and sources tell us what happened in the scrimmage this past Saturday.
Yeah, you can go to hitthatline.com and hear from those players and Sam Pittman from Saturday. Just reading through the accounts, I mean, several veteran players withheld from Saturday, some listed for reasons like Traylon Smith. We talked about turf toe on Friday with him. Sam talked about that openly, and Devion Warren with a hamstring. Treylon Burks was not out there, didn't specify the reason. So it gave some younger players that are fighting for snaps, fighting for a place on the depth chart. It was an opportunity scrimmage, I thought, for some younger guys to step up, and a few did.
Yeah, and the other, a couple other guys, you mentioned Smith and Warren. Stromberg was back, but for limited contact. Yeah, Jalen Catalon has a beat-up shoulder, medical work. Those guys are going to be ready for Rice. Now, this is what he say about Treylon Burks, TJ Hammond, Sam Loy, and then A.J. Green. They should be ready for Rice. He didn't verify 100% they're going to be ready. So a little concerning that your All-American wide receiver is just a should and not going to be ready for Rice.
He lumped those all together. I mean, do you really think – are you sitting here really worried, or are you just trying to stir something?
No. I mean,
I'm
Burks
not worried at all.
Burks got injured last year and we had to sit out a game.
I'm not worried he's missing the Rice game. I mean, if I'm not. Maybe, I mean, you
Did I make that up? Did Burks – yeah, Burks got injured last year. He missed a game, didn't he? So,
yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when he lumps that into the category,
well, I mean,
I'm a little apprehensive.
But he was very clear. He's expecting all these guys to play. I don't want to frame this as something it's not, because he did say he's expecting all of these guys to play versus Rice.
Yeah,
so there's no reason to believe they won't.
Which is what I said. So I said.
Well, you said you're concerned because they should play and it's not a will play.
That's how he phrased it. He said should be ready for Rice. So that's. I mean, I'm just saying what he said. And listen, when you lump that category, it's like Dallas Cowboy fans with Dak Prescott right now. They're concerned about his health, and they
got
should
a lot to be worried about.
Yeah, it's not just Dak, but I mean, I don't care if it's he's probably going to play. He's going. Anytime that I hear injury in Treylon Burks, that should concern you, regardless of how severe it's going to be. So that's I'm just reading what Sam Pittman said. And
I just don't want anyone to think that he's possibly going to miss the Rice game based on what the information we have now. I'm not concerned. Maybe I'm not informed well enough, but I don't. From what I read in Tom and Bob's columns and just listening to Sam Pittman, I'm not concerned about Treylon Burks missing the opener against Rice.
Are you concerned about anything heading into the Rice game as we're 12 days out?
Where's Clay? We don't worry about stuff around here, right? There's a lot to be concerned about. I mean, just based on the way this program has performed over the last better part of 5 years, yeah. I mean, Arkansas has not been flawless in these non-conference, non-Power 5 games. So, am I worried about this team not going out and handling Rice the way I think they should? If you're going to be a team that can compete, Ty, and really maybe win 3 to 5 SEC games, you better be able to go out and just put Rice to bed by halftime, early third quarter. I'm concerned whether or not they can do that or not.
I want to know if this quiet confidence that I get a sense around this football team is realistic and going to be showcased, because as we get closer and closer to the football season, this happens every year. I picked it up early on in my career in sports radio. The optimism continues to flare up and goes higher and higher, not just from players, not just from coaches, but fans as well, because all they're hearing these last couple weeks is positivity, positivity, positivity. There'll be occasional negative headline, negative quote here and there, but for the most part, it's 90+% positive. That leads you to believe your expectations become heightened. I want to know if this team is worthy of being in that 7, 8, 9 win conversation like some Razorback fans think they are. And you can always look at the glass half full. I think we try and do that on this program on a daily basis, because there's no point of being negative Nancy's and looking at it from an unoptimistic standpoint. But as we keep approaching the season, I'm really excited not just to have Arkansas football back, but I just think they're going to, I was telling my buddy Chris Marlar on Saturday Down South, joined his podcast last night. I just think they're going to surprise a lot of people this year. I don't know if that's going to be a massive expectation in terms of wins. I just anticipate that this team is going to showcase themselves as being a tough, hard-nosed football team like we've seen Sam Pittman already establish here in year one.
I think, we saw that last year. So what would surprise some people be? I mean, if you're expecting, it's got to be wins, right? If you're going to surprise somebody, it's got to be wins. I don't think anyone's going to be surprised that they're tough and they play physical based on just what they did last year. So you expecting them to win 7 or 8, or have you?
I'm still at 6. Marlar asked me last night. I'm still at 6. I just think there's going to be a win or two, or they'll have a game or two. I mean, they could. I hope they're going to, because I'm going to be there. But I hope they can scare Georgia on the road in Athens, like South Carolina did, I think 2 years ago. I mean, there's some games this season. Probably not Alabama. Hopefully Texas A&M. I know Connor O'Gara and others have Arkansas beating Texas A&M this year. And for everyone listening, the most important game that you not just want to scare, but you want to beat the living tar out of is the Texas Longhorns in week 2.
Yeah, I think that that would be, I don't know if a surprise, because I think there are a lot of people that expect you to beat Texas and don't really have a lot of, when you start drilling, well, why? You start asking them the hows and the whys, don't have a lot of great answers. But to me, that would be a great surprise to get off to that great start, give you a chance to be at least 3-0 and go to play College Station. And I'm assuming if you can beat Rice in Texas, you can beat Georgia Southern the third game. So if you give you a chance to, I mean, I'm going to operate under that assumption, but it give you a good chance to I think, surprise the state at maybe a 3-0 start. Hey, we know that opening weekend is also Labor Day weekend, and we're less than 2 weekends away. And I don't know what your plans are out there, whether it's a pool party or heading to the game, a tailgate, a backyard barbecue, but the Labor Day weekend has become a traditional family time in our state, great for friends and families to get together. Sadly, it's become one of the deadliest times in our state as well, with drunk drivers endangering themselves and others. We all know it's illegal to drive with a blood alcohol level of 0.08 or higher, and if you do, the consequences are severe. Your license goes away, you go to jail, thousands of dollars in court costs, attorney's fees, and it's all going to rack up to probably close to $10,000. And then you get to put an ignition interlock in your car. You got to blow into a device just to get your car to start. All of it's expensive. All of it will cost you a lot of money, and it can all be avoided. So just think before you drink. Drive sober or get pulled over. This brought to you by the Arkansas Highway Safety Office.
Arkansas doesn't have a quarterback battle right now, but there's some great ones in the NFL. We'll discuss those next on the Morning Rush.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagles Nest is coming in hot.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks, Jen. You know, I've been waiting to get a great deal on a new Toyota all year.
Great deals are kind of our thing. Right now, we've got exciting offers on our lineup of 2021s, like Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tacoma.
Oh, wait, look at that Highlander. Jen, do you mind watching Chance?
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jen. You're the best.
Listen, Chance, I run a tight ship around here, so I don't want any funny business. Aw, who's a good boy? Toyota's National Sales Event is on, but these offers won't last long. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today. No, Chance, that's a display. It's not real grass.
Right now, qualified lessees can lease a new 2021 Tundra Special Edition for only $419 a month for 24 months with $29.99 due at signing. Toyota, let's go places. Visit Toyota.com for details. Offers available in select states and N9721.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Law's Drug Store in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drug Store has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Wheeler Power Sports has you covered this fall with a huge in-stock selection of ATVs, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, motorcycles, scooters, and more. Looking to sell or trade? Wheeler Power Sports is begging for your gently used off-road vehicle or motorcycle. Go to WheelerPowersports.com to check out the full in-stock inventory or give them a call at 479-783-5822. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith is your source this summer for backyard fun. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. There's no better way to enjoy family and friends than with your own above-ground pool this summer from Burton Pools and Spas. And they're on sale this month, starting at just $19.99. Come on by Burton's, pick them up, take them home, and save a bundle on above-ground pools. Don't miss this opportunity to make the backyard of your dreams a reality. They've got a limited supply available right now. Ask about the full line of Doughboy above-ground pools, the best pool on the market, built to last for years of enjoyment by you and your family. Check out Doughboy above-ground pools right now and save big at Burton Pools and Spas. They're on 0 Street in Fort Smith and just off I-49 at the 412 exit in Springdale. And you can always see Burton's full lineup online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas. They're your source for backyard fun.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday. River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
During the month of August, Frank Rowe Furniture is having a store-wide super sale. That's huge savings for everyone. Savings on furniture, mattresses, dining sets, and appliances. Frank Rowe Furniture is also offering discounts on cash and finance through Snap Financing. Only $39 down. You heard right, $39 down. Family-owned and serviced after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
Picked off. Tony Bua down the near sideline. Touchdown, Razorback.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
So there's 5 or so quarterback battles in the National Football League that a lot of people have been paying attention to. Which ones would you say are standing out, and who's going to win what? We'll get into that next, coming up here on a Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush.
Well, we take a little bit of time every day to remind you that the Arkansas Department of Health has plenty of places, whether it's your local pharmacy, whether it's a Walmart location. I noticed I was in Sam's this weekend. They had vaccinations available, readily available, and free. So across our state, there's plenty of opportunity if you're ready to find a spot. And I've talked to several of my friends that have not gotten theirs yet, and they seem to be, with this recent surge and rise in the Delta variant, more open and inclined to get that now. So if you are kind of in that category, and, well, where do I go? The pharmacy where you normally fill or refill prescriptions can likely help you. A Walmart, or you can go to healthy.arkansas.gov and find out about locations and events where you can get a vaccine. Again, it's free. It's readily available. You could get one today because we're seeing the numbers rise. We're over 25,000 active cases as of yesterday in our state of COVID-19. So the vaccines are there to keep you safe. Even for young and healthy people, COVID-19 is spreading to those folks. And we know that under 12 can't get the vaccine yet. So save lives, get vaccinated, and stop the spread of COVID-19. Go to healthy.arkansas.gov or call 1-800-985-6030 for details.
So it was kind of weird in this past preseason game between the Buffalo Bills and the Chicago Bears. You had Justin Fields and Andy Dalton are in this intense quarterback battle for Chicago. And there is a overwhelming majority of people that want to see Justin Fields inserted and starting, not just at some point this season, but game number 1. Now, we talked about last week, Andy Dalton said it's my time, and you don't want him to be, well, Justin's eventually going to take my job, so I'm just here for the time being. But it is an interesting dynamic going on for Matt Nagy's squad in Chicago. So Andy Dalton's in the game, and this is what he's hearing during the game. Now, in Clay's State of the Hogs piece, he talked about Malik Hornsby, and we're going to talk more in depth about what he could be as the backup quarterback for Arkansas this upcoming season. Clay joins us tomorrow at 7 o'clock, but he also mentioned the backup quarterback is the most popular position on the football field, right? That's long been the case because they always think the backup is better unless you have Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields in college or something of that nature. And so he's in a situation now, and I commend Justin for what he said because he thought it was disrespectful for Bears to do that, and he said fans need to realize that we're on the same team, cheer for who's playing out there on the field. He could not have answered that better. But if you're Andy Dalton and you're a lame duck, basically, Tommy, how are you feeling right now?
Well, I thought there was an interesting conversation. Well, first of all, if you're at that level, getting paid that kind of money, you just got to have thick skin. You can't let the fans, you can't let fans be influencing your confidence, influencing your mindset, number one. I thought Keyshawn Johnson, I was driving in listening to the guys on ahead of us, made a great point this morning about backup quarterbacks. And that's the fact that, hey, you don't get a backup quarterback to win you a Super Bowl or get you to the NFC or AFC championship game. That backup quarterback is there to win that one, maybe 2 games when the starter can't go. And that's why you pay these guys the way you do, good reserve money. and you're counting on them when they have to be inserted into the lineup. Because let's face it, if your starter goes down for the year like what we saw, not that the Cowboys had a huge Super Bowl chance in most people's opinion.
They seldom do.
But when Dak Prescott's ankle was broken and he was out for the year, you had someone you could turn it to. But when your starting quarterback goes out, in most cases, your Super Bowl odds are over.
Finished.
But when you have a guy go down with a shoulder or knee or usually not a knee, but some kind of injury that it's going to take him out a game or two, that's where the backup is worth every dime. Keep you on track, win that important game in the middle of the year, a Week 8 or 10 game or something that can keep you in the hunt, in not only in your division, but for home field advantage and keep you on track for where you need to be in the playoffs. That's what the role of a backup in the NFL, and I thought Keyshawn summed that up perfectly this morning.
Speaking of backup quarterbacks, A.J. McCarron unfortunately tore his ACL, and so Felipe Franks benefit. And again, I am very never root for injuries guy, but Felipe Franks, as good as he's looked in the preseason, is going to benefit and now going to be the backup quarterback for Tom Murphy's Atlanta Falcons. We'll talk with Tom more about that coming up. Now, that's less of a quarterback battle. Matt Ryan's going to have that job unless he leaves at some point or get injured, but just keep an eye on that.
Well, making the roster's a big deal.
Yeah. And especially for the quarterback position, which we know how difficult that can be. Just ask our buddies Tyler Wilson and Ryan Mallett. That is not an easy position to get a starting job.
Well, Brandon Allen,
or Brandon Allen, who had a touchdown in the preseason.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. Allen on the quarterback sneak. He's in for a Bengals touchdown.
Love watching that guy score touchdowns. So you've got these big-time quarterback battles. We just referenced one, Justin Fields, Andy Dalton. That's probably the one that has been, I would say, probably at the top of the list, but not far behind is Cam Newton and Mac Jones. Now, this is a battle. You got an Auburn guy and an Alabama guy, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots. I mean, there's just storylines galore out of this. And you think about how blessed and how really spoiled New England Patriots fans been with Tom Brady the last few years, and then Cam doesn't have his best season this past year. Yeah, he's been there forever. And so now they're moving into a situation where does the rookie at some point get a start this year? There's a lot of debate back and forth. You go out west, you've got Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo, which is going to be a fun battle to watch in Denver. You've got Teddy Bridgewater and former Missouri quarterback Drew Lock. Then you look at another one, Trevor Lawrence, Gardner Minshew, which isn't really quarterback competition, but Urban Meyer's just calling it to this point. But I have been keeping an eye on all these because I'm really excited, not just for fantasy football purposes, but it's been intriguing for a lot of different people. Does the rookie get it, or does the longtime veteran win some of these jobs? Or how long can they hold off or fend off the youngins that are looking to be in this role?
Yeah, and you're in Jacksonville, it's one thing that you can afford a year of starting a rookie. If you're in New England where it's last year did not go to standards and you got to win now, maybe the veteran gets on. I think each of those situations has its own little intricacies there.
Yeah, it's the back and forth, the, hey, do we do this, do we do that? It's something to watch and keep an eye on as we are now 13 days out from the NFL season.
And we'll want to be tailgating at the Arkansas game against Rice coming up in 12 days. Or is it 11 or 12 today? How do we count
12,
that?
12
days today.
On the countdown, it's 12.
All right, so 12 days today. So you want the Tailgater. That's the portable satellite system. It's called the Playmaker. Sign up for Dish right now and get a $100 rebate or gift card back towards that. It's the easy-to-use portable satellite system that lines up with all the satellites, weighs 8 pounds. Get it at World of Wireless. 877-305-DISH.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
At Ashley Air, keeping your home comfortable is what we do best. We're confident you'll make the right decision when trusting us with your AC cooling needs. For only $69, one of our technicians will make sure your AC cools when it matters the most. Our technicians specialize in keeping AC systems
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, BetOnline is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, BetOnline has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to BetOnline and start playing today. That's BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tanya Tucker said when she died, she may not go to heaven because she didn't know if they let cowboys inside. Psalm 24 answers her question. Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. The only one qualified to meet that standard ascended after he died to pay the way for you to go inside. Believing in Jesus means he won't condemn us, and the only will be hotter than Texas. I'm Pastor Ephraim Woodland. Think about it.
9888 and Kohler and Green Insurance in Van Buren at 474-9888.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006. will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection. 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
Hey, bow hunters, archery season is closer than you think. Now is the perfect time to bring in your bow for a tune-up for the upcoming season. Let our staff at Jelco Outdoors check out your bow and get you ready to start practicing soon. Check out all the new arrivals by Matthews, Hoyt, Bowtech, and Elite. Jelco has the largest selection of archery equipment in the area. Shop local. Shop Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
Corral going to throw far side. Pass is intercepted. Hudson Clark with the interception. He went down right away, but Hudson Clark with the pick.
Call or text the Morning Rush at 877-377-6963.
If we lose tonight, this will be the last call you hear on this program. I'll probably be dead. Now, if I live through it, I'll call back.
Which Razorback quarterback made the move to tie it in to help add depth into that locker room? I'll tell you in just a sec, coming up here on a Hot Take Monday.
And it's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance, all with lifetime warranties. When you purchase at Wheels, you won't find that offer anywhere else. Plus, they have a mobile service shuttle. If there's ever an issue, they can come to you as well. It's all at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
First one to go down to Saline County and welcome in Gentle Ben to the program. He's got a few questions about some injured hogs this morning. Go ahead, Gentle Ben.
Yes, sir. I may have questions that can't be answered, but I just your screener was nice enough to go ahead and let me on. But anyway, the guys that we've got injured, I can't remember their names for nothing, but it seemed like there's a lot of first stringers that, we were really counting on a lot that's going to be our studs or, some of our best players. I don't know how many of them were on defense, but I recognize some of the ones on offense. And anyway, in college football, about the only ones I know that had real good second-string players that there wasn't a big drop-off when you had to use second-string players. First or second game of the season would be, the top 4 or 5, Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, Oklahoma, and maybe LSU sometimes. And other than that, I can't remember teams that had, second-string players that there wasn't a big drop-off. So do y'all know anything about, how our second-string guys are that may have to play against Rice or possibly Texas, or, anything about the injury report? So, because I don't know very much about it, but I'm really concerned about it.
Yeah. Thanks, Gentle Ben. I'll roll through these real quick. So, Davion Warren tweaked his hamstring on Friday. Traylon Smith has turf toe. Ricky Stromberg's back, but he's in limited contact. Jalen Catalon had some medical stuff that he was dealing with for his shoulder. Now, Sam Pittman said emphatically all 4 of those guys will be ready for Rice. Some other guys, Traylon Burks, TJ Hammond, Sam Loy, and A.J. Green, he said they should be ready for Rice. It didn't really go into their specific injuries. He just all lumped them in. He said, I'm not going to comment on each of these guys individually, and he lumped them in all to one category. And that's what he said in regards to the injuries that this football team has, which in hindsight could be a good thing because you have some youngins that are getting to play some more, get some more reps, and you need all the reps you can get as a true freshman, redshirt freshman, or true sophomore in order to hopefully get acclimated for what's 12 days out, which is your first football game this year.
I guess the longest-term injury, Ben, has been obviously Ricky Stromberg's been out a couple of weeks, was back last week, but like Ty just said, limited participation, limited contact in practice. And we know how when you move the center around and the center's not out there, that changes the dynamics and the chemistry of everything on that offense because each center snaps it just a little bit different. The cadence and all, everything starts with the center. So, I mean, that is a big deal. But this team staying healthy these next 12 days is important. And having everyone ready. They'll have another week of practice. Big thing today is they get back to class and start classes for the fall semester. And Sam Pittman talked about that. He's going to find out a lot about his team this afternoon because they'll go back to afternoon practices and how focused and ready and prepared can you be with the biggest change in your schedule in life, in lifestyle beginning today with now you got to attend class. Now you got to go take care of those responsibilities, and then be at your best this afternoon when it's practice time. So he said he'd find out a lot. I'll be interested to see what he says when we hear from him next.
The good thing is it's syllabus week. Teachers take it easy on you this week. You basically just go over the curriculum for the year and what's to come. Really, you get things going in class number 2 or the third class of this week. So it at least starts a little slower today unless you're in a level 400 or 4,000 or 5,000, whatever it is, at the University of Arkansas. All right, some headlines to get into this morning. Landon Rogers, former Parkview Patriot, has moved to tight end. It's a crowded quarterback room as described by Kendall Briles, and Landon apparently came to the staff and asked if he could help out at tight end. Now, if you remember, Levi Draper moved over there from linebacker. He's injured, now got a medical hardship. He's not going to be playing this season. Also, Dominique Johnson has played a little bit in that role at tight end, but Rogers at 6'4", 6'5"-ish, and he's got the at least measurables to compete. We'll see if he can learn to play the position moving forward.
And a couple things there. He probably sees the line and the pecking order in that quarterback room and understands probably not a lot of opportunity to get snaps there right now. So tight end may be a shorter line, better opportunity, and for him to play immediately. And you remember that with the 4-game freshman rule, they might be able to get him out there a little more easily at tight end where there's going to be some sets with 2 tight ends maybe near the goal line.
KK Robinson's little brother Kellen was on an official visit to Arkansas. I think it's the first Division I offer that he's received. In the picture, have you seen this picture?
Yeah, we went to Auburn. Yeah.
Have you seen? So you've seen it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen it.
So what did you think about him sporting an Arkansas shirt and an Auburn?
I zoomed in on the picture. It said Arkansas across the front. I couldn't tell there was a Razorback on it. It did say Arkansas across the front. I don't know if it was a Razorback shirt or just an Arkansas shirt. It was hard to tell when I zoomed in on. But him and Bruce Pearl in front of an Auburn logo, and I guess what was Bruce Pearl's office or lobby or wherever. And what are you going to do if it's a player you want and you're Bruce Pearl? You're going to give. I guess the move would have been to give him a new shirt and maybe ask him to wear it. But hey, we're all from somewhere, and it wasn't one with a big hog on it. I know that the Razorback wasn't the prominent thing. The words Arkansas was. So
yeah, and it had the Nike. I mean, it's clearly an Arkansas Razorback shirt. There's no question about it.
I zoomed in. I couldn't tell on my phone if it was just because we have people wear shirts in the state that just say Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Generally, if you're trying to get around the universities, a little cut of that. But I couldn't tell exactly what it was on that. But his brother's obviously involved. So
I just know a lot of Arkansas fans thought it was
he
really
probably
funny.
didn't have an Auburn shirt to put on.
Probably didn't want one.
Probably didn't want one.
Probably didn't want one. All right, moving on. I don't know if this guy wants an Arkansas shirt or not, but if you remember Jackson Hallmark, who was one of the studs on Nebraska this year, regional rolls around, he was the guy that stamped on home plate, and it ticked Robert Moore, it ticked a lot of other people off. Well, he was on the Athletes Unfiltered podcast. By the way, Drew, he cursed a couple times. Did we have this muted?
I'm 99% sure.
Oh, no,
All right,
no.
here we go.
My ID, the bouncer, and he says, "You on the baseball team?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Are you Jackson Hallmark?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." And he was like, "Man, you go right on ahead. Good luck." I was like, all right, whatever. And I walk in, and the first person that I see is Kevin Kopps. And I was like, and their entire team was in there.
Oh, that was a sweet deal.
Yeah, and so, I'm thinking, this is going to go one of two ways. I just stomped on their home plate and, got booed by their home fans for 3 straight days. So I'm thinking, either I'm about to get my ass beat or this is going to be a pretty cool night.
Yeah.
And I walk up and, I see Kevin Kopps, but the guy that I hit the home run off of is right next to him. And he sees me and he points at me. And I was like, oh, here we go. And, the only people we got, I think KP was on his way. He might have been there. And then Schwelly.
I was hobbling in or something.
And so I was like, oh, man.
You just got the boys. You got to respect the game. You guys are good.
And then, he sees me, he points at me. I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm like, what's up, man? And I, go to stick out my hand, and he, slaps my hand and gives me a hug. And he was like, why'd you have to stomp on home plate like that? I was like, oh, that's cool.
Right, set the night off, chop it up.
Yeah, I was we spent that entire night hanging out with, half of their team.
So that was pretty cool story again on Athletes Unfiltered of I don't know if he's still on the team or not, but Jackson Hallmark, again, if you remember that game, he slams on home plate. Arkansas fans did not like that, but Arkansas, the baseball team, was apparently kind to them when they saw it. I was curious until he actually said it, because I'm seeing meeting Arkansas players at the bar. I was like, did they go out after game 2 or 1? I was like, did you guys go out and drink the night before the game? But that was following the loss. I guess they didn't fly back until that next day or that next morning. But that was, I thought, a pretty funny story from the Nebraska baseball player.
And good behind the scenes or hindsight stories there, but. Generally, those things don't work out as easily for you when you're on someone else's territory, even when you're away from the ballpark. A lot of times those things, particularly when liquid courage is involved, sometimes those stories don't end as friendly as that one did.
Yes, and I'm curious to see how many – we've seen all these fan fights as of late. I'm curious to see if there's 1 or 2 or 3 or 100 that happened following the Texas or during – the Texas-Arkansas game, with Arkansas and Texas fans interacting at some point. Not many people steal a base off Yadier Molina, the Cardinals catcher. It's pretty seldom. It rarely happens for all you Cardinals fans, our buddy Danny in Russellville, and everyone else listening. So when you do, make sure you take the base with you.
Carrying the go-ahead run. His homer came to the opposite field. Yuang takes off. He's running on Molina, and he's in there. Close play. Molina says, you got me. See what the call is here. Guccione says safe. Whew, that could have gone either way.
Yeah. That's a good challenge by the Cardinals. I mean, that would have been a big overturn.
See that? Wong was pulling the Ricky Henderson right there. Remember when Ricky had the stolen base crown? He picked up the base.
Yeah.
Reliving a famous baseball moment. Look at that. I'm going to go to the base. Hold on. I am the greatest of all time. I think that's what Ricky said. Trying to take the bag. And Colton Wong does, in fact, take that base. He stole a base off Yadier Molina.
Let's go! Yadi, is mine.
I don't know how many base is that Yadi has given up in his career, but it's not many. And so when a guy does steal it, You might as well take the base like Colton Wong actually did. He walked back in the locker room with it.
That's I don't know how collectible that will be, but it'll be cherished by him because, like you said, it is rare that people do get that extra 90 feet, that free 90 feet off of Yachty. So, I mean, but generally you don't take the base unless it's an historic like Ricky Henderson type deal. So I don't know how that works. You have to pay for that? Do they send you a bill? Is that just they look past that? How does that work when you just take the actual game equipment off of the field?
Probably the franchise or the player gets billed of some sort.
I would
but
bet so, too.
I think it's worth his money.
Payroll deduction.
You talk about collectibles. Caroline May Evans, who looks like she's 7 or 8 years old, caught a 2-pound golden trout in Wyoming, which is thought to be a world record. Now, we were discussing before the show this morning. I don't know the significance or value of it, but I knew this would be something that our audience would be interested in because if it's a fish, it's a big time fish, and I'm gonna let you take it.
Well, the golden trout is fairly new in its introduction in Arkansas streams. I don't know about Wyoming and how long they've been around, but a while because I've not seen or heard of anyone catching a golden trout anywhere near that size. Clay'd probably have a little more insight, but yeah, I mean the most common things you're going to see here are obviously the rainbows, and then probably the browns, followed by cutthroats, and then when you're trying to get the grand slam today, the brookies are the most difficult of the 4 most common species. But then you have some of these hybrids that they've put in, and some of these newer versions, and you'll see the golden trout, and they I've seen some on the North Fork River, and they the one I've seen, and I've only seen a couple, haven't ever caught one, almost look like a goldfish in some ways. But so the picture on this fish is beautiful, and Clay would be proud of her because she's holding it correctly. It's not in the gill plate, got her by the tail, but good-looking fish for the young lady.
She looks like she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she's been coached well.
Stephen A. Smith has been in the headlines as of late. Max Kellerman's no longer going to be affiliated with First Take. It looks like he's going to be moving to, you said, the morning slot of ESPN Radio. Well, it's pretty widely known that they don't get along, and he pretty much, again, you can't 100% verify this, but it's being reported that he pushed Max Kellerman out the door. Now, tonight, Stephen A. is going to be guest hosting Jimmy Kimmel Live. When is the last time that you've watched late night television?
Be years, not months. I mean,
legitimately, it's never been a part of my life.
I mean, I've done this job so long that staying up till 10:35 to watch one of the late shows. And I know they've moved. What is it? Conan that comes on a little earlier. They've done some things, but I don't pay any attention to it anymore. But I mean, grew up on Carson and Leno and Letterman, and there's just probably the last time I watched late night TV was when Letterman was on.
I just don't. It's never been a part
None of the guys
life.
on now interest me at all.
I like Fallon. I like watching clips of Fallon, but I've never made it priority at any point in my life, even when I was staying up later, to watch late night television. But I was curious. Snoop Dogg is going to be one of his guests, and Nelly's doing music, so could be an entertaining night. I'm not going to stay up and watch it. I saw that the Oklahoma Sooners, we were talking about with Oklahoma moving to the SEC, how's this going to impact it? And we'll finish our headlines there before we talk some Razorback football. Oklahoma right now has the number 1 recruiting class in the 2023 year. They've got a 5-star quarterback, number 2, Malachi Nelson, 5-star wide receiver, Brandon Ennis, and then 5-star athlete, Makai Lemon, who's the number 4 athlete in this upcoming class. Again, Oklahoma's the number 1 recruiting class right now, but a lot of these players are on offense. And I'm curious to see if Alex Greenidge and Lincoln Riley, if they can figure out, because it's not that hard to figure out, you have to recruit on the defensive side of the ball in order to compete in this league.
Yeah, and it's looking more and more like it's going to be a longer set of time, not next year before they actually join the league. So they'll have to beef up that recruiting in the next couple of classes in order to be ready year one and have those guys hopefully be juniors. If they're really good players, that might be their final year when you enter. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to be planning all that out. But right now, you're recruiting this top-shelf talent probably to still play in the Big 12 unless things evolve and change before 2025. So that's the way it looks right now. All right, those are your headlines brought to you by Farm Credit and your local Farm Credit office. There's 11,000-plus Western Arkansas members of Farm Credit, and they share in more than $11 million in what's called patronage cash And they did that this past spring. And what that means is when you're a member, you share in some of the profits that are generated by Farm Credit. So when the association has a good year, the members benefit. And from a typical rural home loan, patronage cash may equal as much as 1 month's mortgage payments. So that's a pretty cool bonus to financing your next farm, livestock, rural land project with Farm Credit. Because over the past 24 years, Western Arkansas members have shared in more than $140 million. That's money going back into the local economy and back into the pockets of members at Farm Credit. Stop by your local Farm Credit office, ask about patronage cash and what they can do for you on your next loan, and look in at myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com.
So hard, when the whistle's so fast on him, but I believe, he didn't take a lot of sacks. He ran the offense well. I felt like he was accurate today. So, I think he's starting to feel like, he's the man back there, and our offense is and our team is rallying around him. But I thought he had a good day throwing and running the offense. Thought he was accurate.
That was on KJ Jefferson talking about his starting and your starting quarterback this upcoming fall. We'll also hear from Kendall Briles later on coming up in the program. I think he had some more positive things to say rather than what last week has just characterized as average, not from just KJ, Sam Pittman, and anyone else that you talk to. It just seems like average. So, and that's always going to be an issue with KJ Jefferson. You're not worried about his arm strength. You're not really worried about his mobility. You're worried about if he's going to be accurate or not. And I say worried, but that's the question mark. We're saying how much improvement can we see from this past year to this upcoming season?
Yeah, and what's the transition like when you get out of camp in 12 days and actually play with live bullets, and there is no green jersey, there is no protective whistle, and now you've got to take the hits, and now you've got to run and get tackled. That's one thing that's, I think, the hardest thing for any college team to prepare for is getting their quarterback comfortable with ball security and just the soreness that your body will feel after taking those hits and rebounding from those things. You just don't fully know what a quarterback's going to be until those things occur, and they don't happen in camp for obvious reasons, but Coach Pittman was even talking about some of that with the whistles, and sometimes the whistle's a little tighter, sometimes it's a little looser on when you blow a play dead. And, sometimes that's got to be frustrating for the defender, too, when you see the quarterback who you could have had if you weren't easing up, you weren't letting up, slip by. I saw where Hornsby ran for 80 yards. I bet you somewhere in that 80 yards, someone on defense thought they could have had him.
And they pulled up.
Right.
And it's an adjustment, as you talked about.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, it's an adjustment that not just the quarterback has to make, but the defensive players have to make. And because you're so used to, you see a green jersey, if I touch this guy, my defensive coordinator, my offensive coordinator, my head coach are going to kill me. So I have to slow up. There's no slowing up when you're playing in the Southeastern Conference this upcoming season. Now, we talked about, by the way, I want to mention this note, Gary Bohannon, former Earl quarterback, was named the starting quarterback for the Baylor Bears over the weekend. So I wanted to just add that little tidbit in there as we're talking quarterbacks. We've had this guy on with us before. This comes from Mike in Marmaduke. Not Mike. He's an avid texter and listener of the program. But Josh Pate, 24/7 Sports, who does, I think it's the late kickoff or the late night kickoff with Josh. Yeah, late kick with Josh Pace. He says Arkansas is a team that you don't want to sleep on. And he has Arkansas, and not only in a bowl game, it has them as a really good team this year. And kind of what I brought up early on in the program, there's a quiet sense of optimism about this team. You heard from Sam Pittman in our open. He's like, I like our team. I like how they work. And that's from people you've talked to that have seen it with their own eyes, coaches, players. There's the occasional person that is a volunteer, referees, helps out with practice. They had watermelons this weekend from Hope, and so there were some watermelon sources this weekend, Tommy. But we do this every year, but as we keep getting closer and closer, I keep thinking more positives about this football team. And I'm trying to rein it in and reel it in a little bit, but it's hard when not only am I excited for Arkansas football, but there seems to be some life injected in this team once again.
Rarely, if ever, do you get negative news other than injury stuff coming out of camp where a coach, when's the last time a coach stepped to the microphone after a practice and said, these list of guys played like dog poop today, They're not very good, and we better find some play. It's just very rare that a coach is going to say anything negative. So when we're bombarded as fans and media and everyone observing what's going on when we can't see it with our own eyes too. That's the other key element. You know, we're seeing limited amounts of practice, and then we're relying on the reports from coaches and players. Everything they say, they being the coaches and players, is positive. So when you're, you know, reinforced day in, day out with positive news, you can't help but kind of gravitate towards a more positive result.
Yeah.
And you got to balance that because, again, we're not seeing the scrimmages. We're getting very limited access, and it's very measured and gauged as to what will occur in those periods that are in the 20 minutes of active viewing in practice. So, you know, you're right. You got to be very tempered with expectations, and that's why I almost don't want to kind of give any kind of thoughts until I see the Rice game. But that's not what we do here.
It's kind of like watching a movie on television for the first time that they have to edit out certain parts or they can't say certain curse words. You hear them say, like, you know what they're trying to say, but you can't actually see it on television because they completely throw a fabricated word in there that's not there at all. You want the real stuff. You want the goods. Again, you're still happy to watch the movie, but you want it in its entirety. And we want to be able to talk about this football team in its entirety, and we're only 12 days out from doing that. Now, you talk about positivity. Clay Henry, again, if you haven't read his piece in Whole Hog Sports, I would encourage you to do so because Malik Hornsby had a really good scrimmage. And we'll talk again more in depth with Clay about this tomorrow because the backup quarterback role, as you heard Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin on this, I know that's the name of the show, Alan Hahn and Keyshawn were talking about it. You heard them discussing what a backup quarterback can do. Is Malik Hornsby going to be the starter this year? No, but we saw Felipe Franks go down with an injury and KJ Jefferson was inserted against Missouri. That's not to say that the same thing couldn't happen for KJ, and Malik's got to be rip-roaring and ready to go. So just think about that. You did have a really good positive note from not just Clay, but several people who watched Malik play, and the dude can absolutely fly when it comes to those read options and RPO game.
What do you think about that 80-yard run that's reported? I mean, we didn't get to see it, but does that excite you, or does that make you?
I mean, it excites me, but it's
or,
like
or do you say, did they just let it go? You know, I would love to see how many tackles did you break, because that's the thing. You're probably not breaking very many tackles with the way it's set up in practice right now.
And again, even if you are like wanting to touch him, you're still having to pull up a little bit just so you don't accidentally run into him. So it's hard to, as you brought up, it's like you see a statistic like Malik Hornsby running for 80 yards. It's like, okay, you know, it's still probably good, but my guess is at some point in time, as you just brought up, he would have been tackled in a real game. Maybe he wouldn't. Maybe he just they had a great read, the defensive end caved down, or he had a broken play and he just took off. And dude's fast. He's got some wiggle to him, so maybe it was a legitimate touchdown. We'll never know until they show the video.
Sure. All right, a couple more hours of fun coming up here on a Hot Take Monday. We're brought to you by Pradco, and whether you're fishing and jetting on the Arkansas River or working laydowns at Beaver, Ouachita, Table Rock, Bull Shoals, wherever you're headed to do some fishing, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is the smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. It's topwater season. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure, and it's been tricking big bass for nearly a century. Find one down, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. They're at Walmart, Bass Pro Shop, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. It's the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
A certain freshman is going to play a key role for the Razorbacks offense this season, and it's a guy's name that you know and love. That would be Mr. Raheem Sanders, better known as Rocket Sanders. Where's he in the mix? I'm going to tell you that. And another guy that's also standing out well, hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday is headed your way, coming up next.
At any of the Clay Maxey companies, it's just an easy, customer-centered experience. We wanted to make it a one-stop shop, so we added Kawasaki and Can-Am and Hustler and Worldline. It's really been a nice add for us. We provide full service. We're doing pickup and delivery. We were able to add the Vexus line, which is a premier bass boat line. We want to make it easy. We want you to visit us at any of the Clay Maxey companies, Clay Maxey Ford and Harrison, Berryville, Motorsports, Marine, or Clay Maxey NWA.
Burton Pools and Spas is your source for backyard fun. Cool off in your own above-ground pool this summer. Cash and carry savings at only $19.99. Don't miss this opportunity to make your backyard fun this summer. Ask about Burton's full line of Doughboy above-ground pools that are built to last for years. Cash and carry savings on above-ground pools going on now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Hey, what's all that noise about? We are eating some of Rub It Snout pork rinds. They are the freshest and most flavorful we've ever had. Well, I want some. We don't share these. Get your own. Go to RubItSnout.com to place your order and see where Rub It Snout products are sold. Rub It Snout ships anywhere in the U.S. and offers free local delivery. Please like and share our pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Rub It Snout.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
When you want beer, you go to a bar. When you want top shelf spirits, wines, handcrafted cocktails, and cigars, in an atmosphere benefiting a destination, you go to 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge. Try our new menu items including fish and chips, classic club sandwiches, Caesar and Cobb salads, or stick to your favorites, dine in or carry out. Enjoy our state-of-the-art air filtration system. 906 Cocktail and Cigar Lounge, defining nightlife in downtown Fort Smith. Doors open at 4 Tuesday through Saturday.
Are your real estate investments being properly managed? Are you sending a check or cashing a check each month? If you're tired of your current property managers, then call Trinity Multifamily. Trinity will qualify your tenants and leases, inspect your properties, and take care of maintenance and provide you with web-based access to current financial reports, leases, and pictures of your property. Call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Ask Shelter agents Brandon Zimmerman or Chris Dooley about a free insurance review.
River City Bistro is Fort Smith's favorite place for lunch, dinner, and brunch. Open 7 days a week, both on the patio and cozy dining room. River City Bistro, locally owned and open weekdays 11 till 8, Saturdays 10 till 8, and Sundays 10 till 3. Want River City Bistro curbside to go? Just search on Facebook or Instagram for River City Bistro or go to rcbistro.com. River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny, hot, and humid. Our high this afternoon, right around the middle 90s. The slight chance of seeing a shower with thunderstorm across the north. Tonight, mainly clear, low to mid 70s. And then tomorrow, sunshine, highs in the middle to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Check out the Fish City Grill Ruskin and Zach podcast on hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3 KERX Paris Sportsman. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
A couple weeks before kickoff, how do you feel about
exciting.
it? Yeah. How do you feel about the team right now? I mean,
love them.
You got a good team. Or you talk about making the state proud. Is that happening this year?
We got to get out there and play first. Do I like where our team is? Yes. I don't know how we're going to do. But I like the team. I like the way they work.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. And we've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from
hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
Can Rocket Sanders play a key role in Kendall Briles' offense? Well, Sam Pittman seems to think so. He's the number 2 running back in that room right now. What can he be? How many rushing yards can he have in 2021? We'll talk about Rocket Sanders coming up here on a Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush.
And it's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. Chris and Lee J will give you great service, and their team is there to take care of not only everything before and during the sale, but once you've enjoyed your RV for 6 months, a year, they're always going to be there. They're expanding the service department to take care of your needs. In fact, they have a mobile service shuttle, plus the peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
He ran well. He ran hard, had a good day, really good day. You know, with Rocket, last week, I'm not for sure that he had, I don't know, but I can't remember if he had more than a 7-yard run last week's scrimmage. But he improved so much from in practice, I believe, because of, hey, I know I'm in the SEC. I got hit by SEC players, and I'm okay. And I think he gained a lot of confidence last week. That's why I was hoping that A.J. Green would be in this scrimmage today. I felt like he would take that leap as well, but obviously we weren't able to get him in there. But 2 is Rocket. I think that, and then I think your 3 back's going to be between Dominique and Oglesby, with Green having that opportunity when he's able to practice.
Man, oh man, true freshman, Rockledge, Florida, coming in, and you said it, I think, before we came on. You don't necessarily consider him a backup. You just consider him a
number 2. I mean, and it's listen, backup's still an appropriate word because they would start maybe if Traylon Smith wasn't healthier there. So backup,
big difference between backup quarterback and
that's the point I want to make is. Yeah, there's backups at a lot of positions, and the number 2 may never get on the field. Now, at running back, it's a lot different. Wide receiver, probably different. Defensive line, different. Mm-hmm. There are some spots where being the number 2 is almost as good as being the number 1. I'm not saying that that's quite the case, because I think anytime we look statistically at the spread between the number 1 running back and the number 2 running back in carries in a game, there's a reason Traylon Smith, as long as everyone's healthy, will get the majority of the carries. But the number 2 is going to play. The number 3 is going to play. How many carries Sanders gets, he'll get more as he earns more. But, if he's going to be number 2 going into the first game, I would expect him to have, 8, maybe 10 carries against Rice. We'll just see how that game goes. But that wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility there.
It's kind of like what Nick Saban said in his post media scrum where he was talking about, I think it's Jaleel Billingsley, who's a tight end, a former 4 or 5 star. People were asking about his contributions, and he said, I'm not going to determine if Jaleel going to play this year. He's going to determine that. Kind of like you're talking with Rocket. If Rocket, what did he say? It's not a democracy. This is
it's a meritocracy, probably. I don't know what they said, but football's the ultimate meritocracy. You earn your snaps.
And Rocket can do that. Let's welcome in a guy that we haven't heard from in quite some time, and I know he's just excited for this upcoming football season. Now, Kagan Piggott joins us now. Kagan, you got a chance to meet KJ Jefferson and Treylon Burks a few months back. What is your mindset with these quarterbacks, particularly KJ, heading in to football in 12 days?
Well, I told you how big he was then. I guess when he walked in that press conference with that, whatever that was. Like some people call him a wife-beater shirt or whatever. We've seen how big he really was, but this guy's gigantic, man. He's like 6'4", 245, 250 pounds. He reminds me of that guy that used to play quarterback for Kentucky.
Jared Lorenzo.
Jared Lorenzo, yep. Big guy. I feel sorry for any DB that tries to take that guy down because you ain't arm tackling him. I mean, he's got wheels, too. He's pretty quick. And Burks, there ain't much I got to say about him because you can look at him and he's the real deal. But, man, I think KJ's going to have a good year, man. It's going to be totally different. With him, I know Frank was still kind of worried about that ankle, but KJ ain't got nothing to lose, and he knows that he's going to show up and he's going to run the ball and he ain't going to dive. You're going to have to get him physically on the ground, and he's probably going to be a tackle-breaking machine. And for old Rocket Sanders, if he's wearing number 5, he's got some big shoes to fill, but I know he's good. He wouldn't be number 2 if he wasn't that good,
No, I agree. Kagan, appreciate the call, but it's good to hear from you as always. Wade comments on our Facebook live stream. He said, Rocket Sanders is in the same position that Treylon Smith was in Boyd, and Treylon earned his position. I think you're going to see that Rocket Sanders at this point, again, this guy does not, if you've seen, just type in, not while you're driving, but when you get a free sec, when you get to work, or when you have a free minute this morning, just type in Rocket Sanders and look at this young man. He does not look like a collegiate true freshman. He looks like he's been a college weight program with, why am I forgetting the strength coach name? I almost said Jamal Ashley. It's not Jamal Ashley. Jamil Walker. Jamil Walker. Yeah. So he looks like he's been in his system for a couple years, and he's just now entering. And this was high school Rocket Sanders. Yeah. I can only imagine what he looks like now as true freshman, been in the weight room for the past couple months, Rocket Sanders.
And I guess the last guy at running back really to do that, I guess, would be Alex Collins. Correct me, if I'm missing somebody there that came in and was – I remember sitting there with Ruskin, watching Alex Collins the first time we got to see a scrimmage, and he was out there, and his legs had the look of an SEC back, and I said, there's your guy right there. He was just physically impressive at first sight, passed the eye test, as we say. So it's hard for freshmen to do that on an SEC field. It's very difficult.
And you're hoping this guy, not just because of his name, but because, again, you'd love to see, we always talk about with basketball, you want a highly recruited kid, whether in-state or out-of-state, come in and, like Moses, be highly drafted. This was a outside the top 40 kid. Moses Moody comes in, he's in the lottery. You'd like to see Rocket Sanders as a 4-star running back, highly coveted out of Rockledge, Florida, to come in for Arkansas under Kendall Briles and Sam Pittman and just kill it as a true freshman, because then you've got all these eyes seeing this, high school recruits across the country saying, I could be in this system. I could make some runs, and I can be a massive part of Arkansas in my freshman season, because you're watching it unfold with Rocket Sanders.
Yeah, and back to KJ, because Kagan brought that up, and he mentioned his weight, not in a bad way, but he mentioned the 245. Some have been commenting on that. KJ brought it up. It wouldn't probably been a deal if he hadn't. Kendall Briles said he wasn't concerned about his weight and whether he needed trim. He was more worried about arm accuracy, or his arm, and being accurate. That was his comment, I guess, Friday when he spoke to the media. So Kendall Briles doesn't seem to have a lot of concern about what weight his quarterback is playing at right now.
And we'll get to that audio coming up here on the Morning Rush, because I do have that clipped out this morning, as well as your calls and texts. Eddie in Clarksville, hold on. We will get to you coming up here a little later on a Hot Take Monday. So we got still a lot to talk about this morning. Arkansas football, 12 days out. Really excited about that. Want to remind everyone as we gear up towards football season, make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel at Hit That Line. You're following all our stuff on hitthatline.com. Andy has been doing a great job. We also just...
And when you're subscribed, you get an alert, right? So when we...
YouTube
set that up.
You got to set up an alert. YouTube screwed up so much of that crap since.
I was just saying because on game days we'll be here with our pregame and postgame shows, so you want to get that alert, so that on Facebook, Twitter, you can get alerts from a couple different sources. But on game days, we'll have some live video for you too.
Yeah, first Arkansas game day kicks off at 8 a.m. next Saturday, and then we'll have Hog Reaction following that. But coming up, Tom Murphy joins us on the other side.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV.
The start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tanya Tucker said when she died, she may not go to heaven because she didn't know if they let cowboys inside. Psalm 24 answers her question. Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. The only one qualified to meet that standard ascended after he died to pay the way for you to go inside. Believing in Jesus means he won't condemn us, and the only will be hotter than Texas. I'm Pastor Ethan Woodland. Think about it.
Turn that rising mercury into sizzling savings for you. Just choose from a red-hot selection of Rath Road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. That discount can go a long ways towards helping you get the nicer, newer car, truck, or SUV you've been wanting at a price and payment you can afford. If you're not ready to trade, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3, get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, click, call, or come by today and start driving better in a Rath Road-ready vehicle and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. But don't wait. A smoking deal like this can't last forever and absolutely ends August 31st. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced. Fridays is bringing a world of flavor to your table. Come by your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith and explore new appetizers and cocktails inspired by Fridays around the world. New appetizers like Wing Around the World and the Potato Skin Passport. Check out our new ultimate cocktails like the Double Berry Mojito. Stop in or order online for convenient curbside pickup at Fridays.com. Come taste a world of flavor at your locally owned TGI Fridays at I-540 and Rogers in Fort Smith.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
The bloodline of any modern business is their computer network, data storage, and supporting hardware. So who takes care of one of the most important aspects of your business? Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren can handle all your networking services like cabling, firewall, routers, and VPNs to hardware and software protection from virus and malware. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
AC not cooling like it should? Don't wait till you're sweating in a hot car. Get to Cherokee Tire & More in Mansfield, where they are ready to provide AC services for all your vehicle needs. Need new tires, oil change, or other services? Call or come by today and let James and his crew take care of all your vehicle needs. Cherokee Tire & More has semi-truck and ATV tires, along with truck accessories like rough country lift kits. Located at 700 Highway 71 North in Mansfield, Cherokee Tire & More is open Monday through Friday, 7 till 5:30, and Saturday, 7:30 till 2.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Kraft.
There comes Jones to the left. He's got it if he runs. He throws it instead. He's got it there. Touchdown, Richard Smith.
Streaming live at hitthatline.com.
You've got Sam Pittman and Kendall Briles talking about Malik Hornsby, and it's not really a battle for the #1 or #2 quarterback, but it is for the #3. Now, there are some intriguing NFL quarterback battles, and we'll get to those coming up here on Hot Take Monday.
Hey, everyone over at the Arkansas Department of Health wants to remind you that there are vaccine locations all over our state, and they encourage you that if you have not gotten your vaccine or completed your vaccine to get the information, read about it, make the best decision for you, and take advantage of what is really helping to slow the spread. Right now, we have over 25,000 active COVID cases in our state right now. I think that's concerning to more than a few people, with school getting back in session, college classes returning. I know in Fayetteville today, you look at the counties where there's the most activity with COVID. It's Pulaski, Benton, and Washington County. So there's a lot of folks with a lot of concern because even young and healthy people are getting COVID-19, and we're trying to all together work together to slow the spread. The vaccine, it's been 100% effective at preventing severe COVID. So no one's trying to tell you, hey, if you get it, you absolutely won't have a problem with COVID. But what we are seeing and what the stats are showing is the likelihood of you going to the hospital, the likelihood of you dying is extremely limited once you've received the vaccine. Go to healthy.arkansas.gov. Find a vaccine location near you. They're available today, and they're free. That's healthy.arkansas.gov or call 1-800-985-6030.
I want to welcome in Eddie in Clarksville to the program this morning. Eddie, we're 12 days out from Razorback football. I know you sent me a couple texts yesterday that you're jazzed up for the season ahead.
You're exactly right, gentlemen, and you just touched on it right there. I believe we have some players we recruited this year that could come in and have an immediate impact on our football program. And you just touched on Rocket Sanders. And when you talk about moments in time, you go back, once we were called Running Backs USA, our program was running backs like Felix Jones, Gary McFadden, who could get number 5. Then you talk about Alex Collins. And all these players had immediate impact on the next level in the NFL. And so I hope when you talk about Joe Adams' top speed, the Rocket, exactly what it means, certainly has that type of speed where you can kick it in gear to that next level and take it, if you miss a tackle, take it to the house. But no matter where I go this year, gentlemen, very special for me. This is my 49th season as a Hawk fan. To make it short, my first game was against Texas. I was 7 years old in 1971 at War Memorial Stadium. And this afternoon we beat Texas, just to make it briefly, 31-0. and we had a great quarterback then, Joe Ferguson. But I don't remember much about stats that day, but I punched my ticket aboard the Hawk train back in 1971. I've never gotten off of it. And I just wonder, fans that have never attended a Hawk game, fans that are thinking about being Hawk fans, hey, enjoy this season, because I believe this is a season we come out of the rut, led by the conductor of the Hawk train, Coach Sam Pittman. I can see us leading our team on the field against Rice and leading to the game against Texas, where we're going to be winners in both of them. Thank you for taking my call, gentlemen. And for the Hawk fans across the country, get ready. Fasten your seatbelt, punch your ticket, and let's get ready to call the Hawks this season.
How can you not think they're going to win 10 games after a riveting speech like that? Man, I'm with you, Eddie. I was just sitting around last night, and Sundays are tough because we've obviously got to adjust for the week. I stayed up till probably 3 o'clock on Saturday night and 11 or 12 on Friday. So oftentimes I'm laying in bed just kind of sitting there on Monday night, and my brain and my body's trying to recalibrate. So that gives you a lot of time to think. And all I could think about last night was Razorback football and what I think about this team, what I think about the upcoming season. And it's a lot more positive than negative. Now, they got to go out and prove it, as Sam said at the top of our open. Like, you got to win some games. You can't just be all hype, all fluff, which I don't think they're going to be. But I keep thinking positives about this team, and I think there's a lot of reasons to do so. We talk about the veteran leadership, starters coming back. I mean, you return 19 of 21 starters. You would have returned 10 on 10, but Mike Woods obviously left for Oklahoma. I mean, you can't talk about that enough. I know we've preached it over and over on this program, but I just keep coming back to it.
You got to refuel confidence, though, and the only way to refuel confidence is winning. So, I mean, it's one thing to have confidence based on good performances last year. The thing I like about what Sam Pittman said is no one seemed to be satisfied with 3 wins last year and playing close against LSU and close against Missouri and, you know, feeling like you got the shaft at Auburn and you could have won 5 or 6. No one, you know, the lack of satisfaction out of that. So this year we'll see if they can take that step forward. But the only way to maintain confidence, Ty, is to win.
Mm-hmm. You got to take that step forward on the football field this fall, and there's a good chance that they're going to be able to do that. Let's welcome in our guy Tom Murphy into the program this morning. Tom, Rocket Sanders, you just heard Eddie in Clarksville talk about him, Sam Pittman, Kendall Briles talking about him. The number 2 role as a true freshman. Now, we've been discussing the guy looks anything but like a true freshman based on just how physically mature he is. What have you been most impressed with Raheem Sanders thus far in fall camp?
Yeah, hey, gents, good morning. I had the Rocket Sanders Hogs Future for our series this summer, and he talks like he's a serious about football kind of kid. And the cool thing that when Sam Pittman was asked, what is it that's so impressive about him, the first thing he mentioned was you go over to the academics building, and he's on top of things and asking questions. And so he's very plugged into what his college life is going to be about. Obviously, he fits the bill physically because he's a big dude. I mean, it's 6'2", 220-something, maybe 230. And he's fast for his size. Mm-hmm. So a potential home run hitter who I think in the time between spring and right now is more in tune with the playbook. And, I mean, he's physical enough to pick up pass protection duties. And what we do is we always embrace the next great thing coming along. And let's don't forget, Traylon Smith, turf toe, he was out last week. It's been good for Rocket Sanders to get first-team reps and basically show he belongs there. So now you can go to him in, the second series of a game or the third, or just filter him in here and there when you need to, and possibly be a big-time goal line back. Because you think back to games 2 and 3 last year, they were trying to do some quarterback keepers and things that got denied against Mississippi State and Auburn. And, well, maybe you have a big back that can drag a guy an extra yard or 2 and score touchdowns. So I just think they wanted to have combo backs, and they wanted to have, lightning and thunder, so to speak, and I think Rocket Sanders can give them that.
Another 4-star freshman, Keytron Jackson, has been standing out. He's looking like he's going to be the third wide receiver in the rotation. What have you thought about the former Royce City high school player, Tom?
Well, just comes in with great credentials. We saw in spring that he had a knee brace on, and he had a hitch in his giddy up, but that's gone. We've seen him run smoothly. Seen some passes for him in our viewing period that were close, and he's made some good catches in one-on-one. But apparently in the team stuff, he's really starting to rise. And Sam Pittman called him pushing for a starting job, and so that's a warning to Trey Knox and Tyson Morris and veterans that this kid's coming. And I think Devion Warren gets over the hamstring, Traylon Burks gets ready to go. They needed a tall option, a dependable guy. So I'm sure there'll be some freshman hiccups, but it seems to me like he's in the top 4 or 5 guys for sure.
Tom, let's give our audience maybe a good picture, some insight on what happened Saturday. From reading your accounts, ones went against twos for a while, and then the ones played against each other, about 140 total snaps. I thought this was the interesting part. Last week in the first scrimmage, Sam Pittman was pretty clear that the defense had won the day. Tom, this time he was pretty uncertain about who won the day, thought it was fairly even on the work that he saw Saturday.
Exactly. And so I think that means that you have to kind of read between the lines on some of that. When did Rocket Sanders have his 39 and 6-yard touchdown?
Mm-hmm.
And what defense was that against? Maybe that was against the one, because apparently on the first couple of drives for the ones, or the first drive, they didn't score, so that would have been against the twos. And then, when did Malik Hornsby do his damage? Because when you score touchdowns from 80 and 8 yards on running and then throw a couple TD passes, John David White was one of those, and Kendall Catalon was one. So was that with the 2 offense? Because KJ didn't play a ton. So there's a lot of, trying to figure out things. But, offense obviously rebounded from what wasn't a great first scrimmage. And then on KJ, it was basically they wanted to make their reads faster, and Sam Pittman felt like he got to his reads faster and just had a solid day, and he scored 1 touchdown rushing.
We talked about Sanders, Keytron Jackson, another young player that got an opportunity. Some of these veterans that were held out, like Traylon Smith, like Traylon Burks, some that were in limited contact, Jalen Catalon, another one not out there. We could go down a list. There was more than a few names. Gives these young guys an opportunity to grab some spotlight, and sounds like some of these young guys, like a Keytron Jackson, has maybe secured themselves, if not a number 2 starting role or a backup role, at least the confidence in their position coach and their coordinator to put them out there, Tom, for some snaps in these first 3 weeks where you open the season against non-conference opponents at home.
That's right. Absolutely. I think you're right there. And, Kendall Catalon's had a good camp too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start looking at that receiving core, guys that you can trust, maybe the list is growing some. I mean, and John David White, when he's gotten chances in games, he's delivered some big plays too. So I think once you get beyond the known veterans, Burks, Devion Warren, Trey Knox, Tyson Morris, then you're getting into these other guys who are going to make up your travel roster. Obviously, Keytron's blocking is going to be something people keep an eye on, because when you come from high school and you're the man, you're not doing a ton of big-time blocking, and that's required here. So we'll see how that develops, and I'd like to think that they're adding depth, better depth at basically every position. And quarterback play, again, going to be huge if these guys can do the read and execution of plays.
Tom, what did you think about Landon Rogers asking the coaching staff and moving to the tight end role?
Well, basically saw a crowded quarterback room where he wasn't getting his third-team reps behind Jefferson and Hornsby, and it's been Coley and Renfro and John Stephen Jones getting the third-team reps, and so he wants to hit the field. He's got a tight end-like frame, particularly if he fills out at 6'4", 215. If he gets up to 6'4", 245, 250, he could be a quality blocker. And then he's obviously got the quick twitch and agility as a good quarterback. So we'll see if it sticks. and what he thinks of what the quarterback situation looks like as the season goes along. But they needed help at tight end for sure. I mean, they rotated a bunch of guys who were not recruited as tight ends to that spot, and so he's been the latest.
Tom, your Atlanta Falcons lost one of your backup quarterbacks in A.J. McCarron, torn ACL, and this kind of gives Felipe Franks a major opportunity to be that solidified backup role. What have you thought about his preseason performance, and do you think he could have an impact if Matt Ryan was to get injured at some point in the season for the Falcons?
An impact for what looks like it's going to be the worst team in the NFL. Is that what you mean, Ty?
You're that high on him. Wow.
Well, when you basically do nothing against the Dolphins, hey, look, I wish Felipe all the best. I hope he makes the roster. I hope he gets some playing time. I noted that he was like 2 for 10, and he had some good rushing yards. The clips we've seen of him have been runs. So the Falcons are going to have to get a lot better, or, whatever he does is going to be kind of like an asterisk to a really bad team. We haven't been good in the preseason in many years running, and we're talking way too much about the Falcons.
All right, so classes begin today. I don't have a follow-up on that. So classes begin today. Coach talked about seeing how his team's focus and where their level was today was going to be really important. What are the important things to you other than getting over injuries and avoiding injuries? What's important these next 12 days as we're 12 days out from the Rice game?
Exactly. We cannot overemphasize how getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go into the season feeling like your top guys are healthy, and that means Jalen Catalon with his shoulder. Just hopefully that it's nothing structural. That just rest will get him ready to go, because he's so integral to what they're doing on defense. He makes reads and calls and helps everybody, and he obviously goes up and hits people. So getting healthy is a big deal. The next few days, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, are going to be about just improving their execution and their schemes. And then Thursday, it hits, man. It's game plan for Rice. I'm sure they've been, working in little things that are going to be, game plan things that will apply to the Rice game. But just making sure that depth is good. It seems to me they've gotten through camp without a major injury like season ender, as far as we know, and that Ricky Stromberg will be able to come back at center and kind of make the line whole again, because he has been going through practice a little bit. I mean, Dalton Wagner's had some back issues where you see him stretching a little bit extra on the side. Hopefully he'll be ready to go. Yeah. Getting these guys fresh and pointed toward the Rice game is big.
And you mentioned some offensive line spots there. It looks like, I guess, Latham's going to edge out Jones, but that one's still maybe too close to call at this point.
It may be, but when you've done it through the 2 scrimmages, there's not a lot of time left for Luke Jones to have a massive day. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more thud work and teamwork and things like that between now and the Rice game. But the good thing about that is that we think Luke Jones is a quality player, and I think they have more depth. And I think that Tykeus Crawford's coming along at right tackle, and they would feel better about having to sub in, on the inside or outside this year than they were last.
Tom, we appreciate it, buddy. We'll talk on Thursday as we get closer and closer to the upcoming game against Rice.
Sounds good. See y'all then. Bye.
All right, Tom Murphy with us every Monday and Thursday. It's part of our Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and peace of mind with a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. So you can count on them at Wheels RV. Again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
That was some Chicago Bears fans inside of Soldier Field chanting, "We want Fields." Justin Fields, the backup quarterback right now, as Andy Dalton is on the field. Now, I don't anticipate fans saying we want Hornsby at any point this season, but it was encouraging to see Malik have a stellar scrimmage this past Saturday, because he, at some point, like we saw with KJ Jefferson, might be called upon. because as Felipe goes down with those ribs, KJ comes in, has the best game of his career, one of the best games he's ever played football. And they had an explosive offense. Hopefully Malik, if he's ever called upon, can do the same thing. Some intriguing matchups this upcoming season for the NFL. You've got Mac Jones and Cam Newton, the Auburn-Alabama tie-ins. You've got Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater, Trey Lance against Jimmy Garoppolo, Trevor Lawrence and Gardner Minshew. I don't know if it's necessarily a competition. Tommy, which one are you, just for your personal, not vendetta, but your personal attraction, which one do you like? Because you're not as much as an NFL guy.
No, I'm not. But probably what's going on in New England with Cam and Mac Jones, not because of the SEC and the Iron Bowl rivalry type thing that you could play an angle on, but just simply you feel like there's going to be a game or two a rookie quarterback could cost you anytime you're going to go with a rookie from the get-go as your starting quarterback. So is the Patriots really in a position after last year not being up to the standard that they have been at for so long when Tom Brady was there to go with a rookie when they've got a veteran there? I mean, to me, that's an intriguing. You're going veteran versus rookie with Cam Newton. And for Cam, if you don't get this role, does it mean it's over for him as a starting quarterback in this league? I think there's a lot of layers in what Belichick's got to make a decision on here.
I love hearing about quarterback competitions because it's the most intriguing, it's the most exciting, it's the most captivating position on the football field. And when you do have a battle go on professionally, collegiately, at the high school level, everyone's paying attention to it and everyone's talking about it. And it creates drama and it creates headlines, and it's definitely done it to this point. I'm really curious, like you are with Mac Jones and Cam Newton. I think Justin Fields ultimately gets the job over Andy Dalton. I think Trey Lance ultimately takes the job from Jimmy Garoppolo. It's just a matter of when. Trevor Lawrence is going to start game one for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Zach Wilson doesn't even have any competition for the New York Jets. And then Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's going to beat out Drew Lock for that starting spot. So I just enjoy, especially from a fantasy football perspective, seeing how these rookie quarterbacks are going to perform because there's always pressure. We're talking about Rocket Sanders, Keatron Jackson, some of these other young guys getting acclimated at the college level. Tommy, it's like 1,000 times harder to get ready for that NFL speed. I mean, Fields got his helmet knocked off. A week ago, Tommy, he said, the game's kind of slow. And then a Buffalo Bills linebacker came off the edge and not ripped his helmet up, but hit him so hard his helmet popped off.
Sped it up for him a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just the quickness of the NFL level compared to even the SEC West. It's just such a difference.
Is the situation or the dynamic maybe a little different in Jacksonville that you've got a little more leash, new coach, top quarterback in the draft? Do you have a little more leash to go with Lawrence and live with some of the mistakes there versus, say, at New England like we were talking about a minute ago?
Yeah,
I would think so.
I think there's such an expectation for what Bill Belichick, it's the old Nolan Richardson quote, once you feed a monster, you got to keep on feeding it, or I'm paraphrasing there. Well, Bill Belichick, with all the Super Bowls that they've won in New England, and now with Tom departing, getting the Super Bowl last year, there's pressure on not just the organization, but Bill Belichick to prove to not just himself, but the rest of the football world that it wasn't all about Brady.
That's exactly right. Because after last year, it looks like it was all Brady.
It was more Brady than Belichick.
And you got to believe he wants to answer that back.
Yeah, and he doesn't come across as a guy that loves talking to media based on some of the responses, but I bet he'd love to stick it to some of the media members and win a Super Bowl with either Mac or Cam and say, you know what, I contributed those Super Bowls too.
All right, Hog Headlines coming up. We're brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. A beautiful place on the White River. If you've never been there before, just Google Gaston's or go to gastons.com. That's their website. They've got 80 different cabins and lodges that can accommodate 2 or 22. I mean, or they can put together several of those if you got a work outing, big family reunion. It's perfectly set up. In fact, they have a conference center, a lodge where they can easily accommodate 100 folks. Bring in food that if you're needing to do a work meeting, it's got all the technology. We've done the radio show from in there before. It's a great place right there on the grounds, just steps away from all the cabins. So if you're thinking about that work retreat you've had to put off because of COVID last year, or you've got that big family reunion you want to have this fall, think about Gaston's for those bigger gatherings. 870-431-5202 is their number. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Hey, it was BYOG, bring your own guts.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Needing your roof repaired? Ramos Roofing is a local company that has over 25 years of experience specializing in your residential or commercial roofing needs in the Oklahoma area. Ramos Roofing, a company you can trust, offering discounts to senior citizens, law enforcement, or healthcare workers, and assists in your insurance claims. Ramos Roofing, standing behind their work so you can stand under it. Call 479-420-9903. That's 420-9903. Ramos Roofing, working with you to build a better home.
Need a little something to get you through hump day? Swing by Sody's and save 10% on all regular priced wine, cheese, and boar's head meats today. That's right, it's Wine and Cheese Wednesday at Sody's. Experience different at Sody's Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sody's.
Laws Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Laws Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Laws Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Laws Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116. Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
At Ashley Air, keeping your home comfortable is what we do best. We're confident you'll make the right decision when trusting us with your AC cooling needs. For only $69, one of our technicians will make sure your AC cools when it matters the most. Our technicians specialize in keeping AC systems operating at peak capacity 24/7. Call us today so you can enjoy peace of mind knowing you'll stay cool and comfortable all summer.
AshleyAir.com.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship!
championship. The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season.
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Brought this up with Tom. Landon Rogers, former Parkview Patriot, is moving from quarterback to tight end. Kendall Briles said in his press conference on Saturday that Landon, with a crowded quarterback room, asked Coach if he could move and add depth to that position. 6'4", he's a big guy, so we'll see how he can acclimate to playing the tight end position. KK Robinson's little brother Kellen had an official or non-official visit to Auburn, whatever it was, wore an Arkansas shirt in his picture with Bruce Pearl, which a lot of people found very, very entertaining. I know I did, seeing both of them smile. Or Bruce was smiling, Kellen had a very serious face, and I appreciate the wearing of the Arkansas shirt to Auburn. I appreciate.
You think that was intentional?
1,000%.
Okay.
1,000%.
I'd like to think it was,
and he's still got an offer.
That tells you how good a player he is, right? At that age, I don't know that I thought everything out, but maybe it was intentional. I'd like to think it was, because you make a point, but yeah, at that age, maybe you don't always think every angle through like that. But
it's Episcopal. I guess KK went to Episcopal his freshman year, and then went to Bryant, and then moved on to not Montverde, but Oak Hill. So, yeah, I'm trying to think when I was like he's 15, so was it 9th grade, 10th grade that put him in? I mean, I still figured.
My son's younger than that, but he would that wouldn't have even crossed his mind. I mean, he's
if I was going to Auburn, but I don't. Maybe he ends up.
I'm not going to go buy an Auburn shirt to wear. I mean, what do you think's probably?
They give you that gear. You tell me, Coach didn't have the wherewithal to give him a.
Well, sure he does. So I don't know. You would like to hear more of the backstory on that.
Yeah,
and I'm sure we will at some point.
Arkansas basketball-wise, Bobby Portis threw out the first pitch for the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday. Now, I know Giannis Antetokounmpo is now a part owner of that baseball team, but when Bobby, if you go watch the video, Bobby starts walking up to the mound, and there's just a roar. They love him in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Of all places, Bobby Portis is the most adored in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Well, I'm glad I'm glad free agency worked out where they could come to terms and him stay there, because it seems to, like you said, a great setup. The community loves him, but when you win and you win championships, everybody loves you. Yep. So it's hard to be hated when you're winning championships.
Have you ever thrown out a first pitch for any event? I would airmail mine, because the least or the biggest concern I would have is throwing it short and getting made fun of for that. So I would throw it as hard as I can, and it would hit the backstop. No question. It would not hit the catcher's mitt. I would airmail it.
You think you could get it from the mound to the backstop?
Yeah, easy.
Okay.
Do you want me to go prove it?
Well, it'd be about 90 feet or so. I mean, depending on where you're at.
Not in the air, but it would roll. It would hit the ground and roll the backstop. No, I mean, hopefully I wouldn't airmail it that bad. Good grief! I don't think I'm that inaccurate.
So you think you could throw it far enough to hit the backstop?
No, it would at some point hit the ground and then hit the backstop. Right. Kevin Kopps, who hasn't hit many backstops in his career, especially last year, has moved up to the Padres High A affiliate, the Fort Wayne Tin Caps. Also got his first professional save over the weekend. Now,
Tin Caps. You got to love some caps. I don't know what a tin cap is, but probably a backstory on that too.
The Sod Poodles is one of Phil's favorite minor league games. The Naturals and the Travelers, I feel like those aren't too odd for minor league baseball teams. But then you hear about the Tin Caps or the Sod Poodles or the various minor league teams affiliated with certain organizations. Pretty funny. I saw Brandon Allen got a preseason touchdown yesterday. I think it was this weekend.
First and goal from the 1-yard line. Allen on the quarterback sneak. He's in for a Bengals touchdown.
And we're talking about backup role earlier. Felipe Franks with A.J. McCarron tearing his ACL. He's got to improve. I never thought I'd say this. He has got to improve his throwing accuracy. He hasn't been good throwing the football in preseason, which is odd to me, because
he's like almost 70% school record.
I told the guys on Saturday Down South Unfiltered podcast. Sorry, Marlo, I forget the name of it. I think it's College Football Unfiltered, and they were blown away that he has the single season record for completion percentage, but has not translated. And Tom was blaming the Falcons.
Might have something to do with those NFL defenses, too.
Yeah, and Tom was blaming the Falcons organization and seemed to be in disarray. He's talking about how his team always seems to suck in the preseason. The Ravens, hey, your Ravens have won, 19 straight preseason games? Something insane.
Yeah, 19 straight. They now have the tie for the record with the Green Bay Packers back in the late 50s, early 60s.
Is that an honor that you would describe as dubious? I mean,
sounds like
you take it. You're winning.
Back-to-back NIT champions. Is that,
something like that.
Something like that. The Tar Heels beat Arkansas 1-0 in overtime over the weekend in soccer. Now, they played both Duke and North Carolina. I guess help me out, guys. Tobacco Road. That's what it's called, right? The Durham to Chapel Hill. So they had the soccer version of that this weekend. How bad they lose to Duke? It was close, wasn't it?
I thought it was 2-0. There's 1-0, like you said, this weekend there in Chapel Hill. Arkansas is 13th ranked in the country, and North Carolina was 3rd. I think Duke was 6th. So, the 2 losses they had are very respectable losses from that standpoint, but I'm sure Colby Hill would have liked to at least split out there.
And maybe the most important thing that all of you have been wondering with this football team is, what does Kendall Briles think about KJ Jefferson's weight?
And I've told him since last spring, I think 235 is the best weight for him. He's now under 245, but I tell you what, he can run and he can move, and he's got a first step. So, I'm not really concerned with it. A lot of times there's wants and there's needs. We need him to be really, really good. I don't care if he's 285 as long as he's dropping dimes on people and getting away from pressure. So I like where he's at. He feels comfortable. He knows that I would like him to be a little bit less, but dadgum, he's a big kid. He's going to be tough to bring down, and he's still very active with his feet. So that's kind of the way his body is. KJ's a big guy, and I'm proud of where he's at right now.
Any thoughts on Kendall Briles' comments about his quarterback?
He sees the performance. I mean, that's how finely tuned these guys are, where 7 or 8, maybe 10 pounds makes a noticeable difference in performance, and the coaches can see it. But at 235, maybe he is slightly faster. I don't think the untrained eye could probably see that. And the guy's big enough and bulky enough to be durable. That's the thing you want, is a quarterback that it's not going to be susceptible to injury because he's going too light. So
are you
no concern there?
Are you at an ideal reffing weight right now?
No, I'm not at all.
So if I asked Laura, are you in an ideal?
She wouldn't care.
Husband weight?
She wouldn't care.
How's that going, by the way?
What's
you still
that?
You've talked about this diet and hitting the gym and getting back at it. Is it going good?
Well, if I didn't have to do so many things around here, I'd have more time. But it's been a little busy this last month. Not going.
So
well.
not good.
Not good.
That's tough. I'm concerned.
This last month has just been insanely crazy for me. I don't know, just crazy since about the end of July till now. So.
Yeah, I have some buddies that I was hanging out with this weekend, and I was telling them just the work schedule that I had, and they're just like, "You're just always grinding." And I was like, "That's sports radio in a nutshell." I think some people are under the assumption that from 6 to 9 we do a show and then we just kind of goof off and play golf the rest of the day, but it's anything but that. So that's
maybe the season will get here and it'll slow down a little bit.
Maybe so. That's going to do it for your Hog Update, and it's brought to you by Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Still got some things to address with this football team coming up in hour number 3. If you haven't done so, I'd encourage you to go watch Kendall Briles, Sam Pittman, and all the players talking in the post-game meetings, in the post-game press conferences following the scrimmage this past Saturday. HitThatLine.com, our YouTube channel as well. Make sure you're subscribed. We've definitely had a rise in the people that are following our channel because Andy does a great job, not just on HitThatLine.com, but getting all those videos and all those things that you want to hear about this Razorback football team.
Hey, summer's coming to a close soon, and if you spent another summer without a pool in your backyard, start now with the process of designing the backyard of your dreams with Burton Pools and Spas. They have a great team that will come out, do the measurements, take some pictures, go back and put a computer-generated design together for your backyard. So if you've always wanted that in-ground pool, you've got an idea of where everything should go, work with the team at Burton's, and they can start the design process now, get you on the list and the schedule, and next summer start enjoying that pool in your own backyard. They're in Springdale and in Fort Smith and online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Which 2 former 4-star freshmen have stepped up in fall camp? I'll tell you at the kickoff of hour number 3 next.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Thanks, Jen. You know, I've been waiting to get a great deal on a new Toyota all year.
Great deals are kind of our thing. Right now, we've got exciting offers on our lineup of 2021s, like Camry, Corolla, RAV4, Tacoma.
Oh, wait, look at that Highlander. Jen, do you mind watching Chance?
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Jen. You're the best.
Listen, Chance, I run a tight ship around here, so I don't want any funny business. Aw, who's a good boy? Toyota's National Sales Event is on, but these offers won't last long. Visit your participating Toyota dealer today. No, Chance, that's a display. It's not real grass.
Right now, qualified buyers can get 2.49% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2021 Tacoma. Toyota, let's go places. Visit Toyota.com for details. Offers available in select states and N9721.
Burton Pools and Spas is your source for backyard fun. Cool off in your own above-ground pool this summer. Cash and carry savings at only $19.99. Don't miss this opportunity to make your backyard fun this summer. Ask about Burton's full line of Doughboy above-ground pools that are built to last for years. Cash and carry savings on above-ground pools going on now at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and in Fort Smith, and always online at burtonpools.com. Burton Pools and Spas, your source for backyard fun.
Hey Siri, remind me on August 23rd about the new Powerball drawing every Monday.
Powerball drawings are on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Here's what I found.
Well, there's going to be a new drawing on Mondays, too.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
So every Monday, there's a Powerball drawing?
Yep, starting August 23rd. Man, these updates are weird.
Get psyched! Starting on August 23rd, Powerball drawings will be 3 days a week, so mark your calendars. This is winning. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
These days we Google everything, but the practical advice about painting comes from the paint store in Van Buren. For 33 years we have worked with professionals as well as homeowners to share the best tips and techniques. Richards Paint, made in USA. Wooster Rollers, made in USA. Corona Brushes, made in USA. We want nothing more than to share our knowledge to help you achieve the best paint job. Friendly, expert, professional. The paint store in Van Buren.
The Wave has arrived in the Coal Hill Zone, and that includes Altus, Coal Hill, Hunt, and other surrounding communities. Visit signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-4WAVE-RC to get signed up now. Blazing fast fiber services based in Ozark. Internet starting at $49.95, TV at $32.95, and phone service $29.95 a month. Order now for the Coal Hill Zone, Arkansas Valley Electric, and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Kohler and Green Insurance today in Fort Smith at 484-9888 and Kohler and Green Insurance in Van Buren at 474-9888.
When you've escaped the screens and the sun bathes everything in a golden glow, and your friend hands you a cold organic beer that tastes as perfect as nature itself, that's pure gold. Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, the first national USDA certified organic beer. Organic by nature. Enjoy responsibly. 2020 Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Pure Gold, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Has the summer heat got you down? Got the back to school blues? Well, keep your cool, because I've got a deal to turn that rising mercury into sizzling savings for you. Just choose from a red hot selection of Rath Road Ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. That discount can go a long ways towards helping you get the nicer, newer car, truck, or SUV you've been wanting at a price and payment you can afford. If you're not ready to trade, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, click, call, or come by today and start driving better in a Rath road-ready vehicle and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. But don't wait. A smoking deal like this can't last forever and absolutely ends August 31st. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, sunny, hot, and humid. Our high this afternoon right around the middle 90s. The slight chance of seeing a shower with thunderstorm across the north. Tonight, mainly clear, low to mid 70s. And then tomorrow, sunshine, highs in the middle to upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Catch Sam Pittman live every Wednesday night at 7, only on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by The Fenceman. For custom-built fences, gates, and controlled access systems, call The Fenceman at 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
A couple weeks before kickoff. How do you feel about
exciting.
it? Yeah. How do you feel about the team right now? I mean,
love them.
You got a good team. Or you talk about making the state proud. Is that happening this year?
We got to get out there and play first. Do I like where our team is? Yes. I don't know how we're going to do, but I like the team. I like the way they work.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
People who really want to have a good time won't come to a slaughterhouse. We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
On your favorite Arkansas sports talk station.
I don't like you because you're dangerous. That's right. I am dangerous.
Streaming live from hitthatline.com.
I hit the 7-iron like John Daly hits the 3.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
You just gotta keep living, man.
And Tommy Kraft.
We follow orders or people die. Are we clear?
The Morning Rush starts right now.
Yes, sir.
One of my favorite memories as a kid was watching number 5, Darren McFadden, run down the sidelines for long touchdowns. Well, the guy that's donning his jersey this year is going to have a significant impact as a true freshman. Not only does Rocket Sanders have one of the best nicknames in college football, but Coach Briles and Coach Pittman thinks he's going to bring a significant impact to this team. We'll tell you about that and some other tidbits that we got from Saturday's scrimmage coming up here on a Hot Take Monday.
And Hot Take Monday always brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. The best brands like Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, and Alliance are all there at Wheels. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV, and their mobile service shuttles right there to keep you camping as well. Stop in and see everything that Lee J and Chris and the crew have to offer. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
He ran well. He ran hard, had a good day, really good day. You know, with Rocket, last week, I'm not for sure that he had, I don't know, but I can't remember if he had more than a 7-yard run last week's scrimmage. But he improved so much from in practice, I believe, because of, hey, I know I'm in the SEC. I got hit by SEC players, and I'm okay. And I think he gained a lot of confidence last week. That's why I was hoping that A.J. Green would be in this scrimmage today. I felt like he would take that leap as well, but obviously we weren't able to get him in there. But 2 is Rocket. I think that, and then I think your 3 back's going to be between Dominique and Oglesby, with Green having that opportunity when he's able to practice.
True freshman looks like he's going to be what we haven't necessarily. We'll shy away from the backup role, but just a contributor at the running back in the number 2 slot. Because he's going to play a heck of a lot more than backup quarterback Malik Hornsby.
Right. And so, I mean, being the number 2 running back probably means you're going to get half a dozen, 8 carries, depending on the game and the score and the situation. But a chance, I would be surprised if we went all the way through the Rice game and he didn't get at least a handful of carries. I mean, I think that'd surprise all of us.
And when you wear number 5 as a running back at the University of Arkansas, Rakeem Boyd had it last, now it's been gifted to Rocket Sanders. There is a standard that has been set. And you have to not necessarily live up to it fully, because no one is going to be no one is ever going to be Darren McFadden as an Arkansas Razorback ever again. But if you're going to wear it, you have to live up to a certain threshold of hype. And not starting, but playing significant time as a true freshman would at least lead you to believe, assuming that it plays out like Coach Briles and Coach Pittman thinks it's going to, that this guy's going to be worth that 4-star rating he had out of high school.
It's kind of like when a defensive lineman wants a single-digit number, you better be good. I mean, they don't give out single digits to defensive linemen unless they're all about it. So, same thing. If you're going to wear number 5 as a running back, you better not go out there and stink it up. So
you got to live up to somewhat of expectations moving forward. Now, KJ, according to Coach Pittman, was pretty accurate. He seems really excited. I mean, you heard at the top of our open, there's a quiet confidence surrounding this football team that I seem to have just picked up on. I think a lot of other people have picked up on as well. The wide receivers, according to Kendall Briles, have been blocking a lot better. Keytron Jackson has emerged in that group as the third guy, another true freshman. This one's out of Royce City. Keytron's out of Royce City. Raheem's out of Rockledge, Florida. So that's the guy, if you're wondering about, hey, who's going to step up in the wide receiver room, Devion coming back from injury, John David White, Trey Knox, and whatever. Well, Keytron Jackson has apparently made some waves in that room.
And you named 4 or 5 names there. Sam Pittman was pretty clear a week or two ago. He wanted 8 or 9 receivers for SEC games that he could count on in the various roles. So obviously it starts with Burks. Now you can keep you went through Trey Knox's name, Devion Warren. Keep going down the list of guys that have experience, and then will some of these guys like Keytron Jackson be able to contribute in an SEC game? Coach has said he wants 8 or 9 guys to be ready to go.
What's the hardest position to step into as a true freshman on a football team?
Well, it'd have to be offensive line, right? I mean, just being physically able to compete, being physically ready. Most of these, not all, but most of these freshmen come in the upper 200s, 280, 285, and they have to work on nutrition and hit the weight room to really put on 30 good pounds to be able to compete, because, the inside guys got to go in the, 310-ish range. It's just hard until you get to that 310 to 330 range, depending on your spot, to be able to compete. They can't be light and be out there on those front 5. So I'd have to say offensive line from the standpoint of you're not physically ready for most freshman athletes.
And you also have to prepare with your footwork when you have guys like a Myles Garrett, Texas A&M, Jadeveon Clowney, South Carolina, Jonathan Allen, Alabama. I mean, there are guys all over the place that you just have to be able to block. I mean, think about this. At one point in time, Clemson had 3, I think, first-rounders on their defensive line. And I know they're in the ACC, but Alabama consistently has those type of dudes up front. Georgia has those type of dudes up front that are just havoc makers. And as a true freshman, if you walk into that, it's a little different. I think about, you remember, you've seen The Blind Side, Michael Orr, who he blocks in high school relative to who he blocks at the collegiate level when he attended Ole Miss. Like it's
excessive blocking.
Yeah,
in that one game.
Excessive blocking. So it's such a difference in that area. But I'm really excited for just to see these young kids, especially on offense, and not to say that you weren't excited about the young guys on defense as well, because we've heard great things about Christopher Pupal Jr. and some other true freshmen that could potentially not necessarily start, but have impact on that defense as well. When you have guys that come in, learn the system, and are set up for success early on, there's a good chance they're going to bode well for the future moving forward as well.
Yeah, and so I mean, the 4-game freshman rule that was instituted, it's just the 3rd year, or has been 3 years.
Sounds right.
COVID messes me up on my timelines anymore, but that's a real morale booster, I would think, for those players to keep them engaged. Hey, there's going to be a chance I can play and still keep my red shirt. Adds a balance or a measure of management that these coaches have to do. But to me, if I was a freshman and knew I was not going to be physically ready, or there's just a all-conference junior or senior in front of me, then no chance there. To know that, hey, I better be ready, because in 4 games I'm going to get some significant snaps or some snaps. has to be a morale booster for those guys to keep grinding.
Just to update you on some injuries that Sam Pittman noted in his press conference, Davion Warren tweaked his hamstring on Friday, didn't scrimmage. Traylon Burks had turf toe. Ricky Stromberg is back, but just for limited contact. And Jalen Catalon had some medical work on his shoulder that they had to clean up. They are all four going to be ready for Rice, according to Sam Pittman. He also touched on Traylon Burks, TJ Hammond, Sam Loy, AJ Green, who he said should be ready for Rice. You haven't had, outside of Levi Draper and his medical hardship, big knock on wood, you haven't had that, oh my gosh, I can't believe we lost this guy just yet.
And then, from what we know, there's no rash of season enders, no one that's going to be having surgery that takes them out 6 to 8 weeks. And that's the key to these next 12 days, Ty, is getting everyone healthy. You went through a long list of guys that were withheld from practice. A lot of that was precautionary. But you can't go through it. A, you got to practice and prepare. But B, you got to get through this somehow and try to avoid the whammy. Press your luck. You ever watch that TV show?
Very sparingly. I've watched one or two episodes.
No whammies. Stop. You feel like if you're Sam Pittman, every practice you're playing press your luck, and you're trying to avoid the whammy. The whammy is the injury.
Last little tidbit before we get into our best and worst of the weekend. Classes start today, not just for student athletes, but all students on campus at the University of Arkansas. Now, KJ Jefferson's not in a Johnny Manziel situation where he's taking all online classes. They'll be in class. I want to know, with practice moving to the afternoons now, they're practicing early morning, the adjustment period that these guys have. Some will be entering their college class for the first time. Others are used to this whole charade and show. Like, how do they get, and what are the classmates? What are they asking these guys? Like, hey, how are y'all looking this year? And what are the players saying to their fellow students? How are they talking to their professors? How do they feel this season? It's going to be interesting to hear some things that come out of Fayetteville this week in relation to classes starting back at the U of A.
Yeah, and that's the challenge that Sam Pittman said he would be measuring today in practices to see how they responded with all of that you just said going on. Classes starting, coming off the scrimmage, day off yesterday. How will they do today? He said he'd find out a lot about the maturity of his team after today's practice. Hey, we're brought to you by United Welding Institute in Pottsville. If you're looking for a trade to make a great living for you and your family, have you considered a career in welding? You may not know that career welders, people that weld for a living, make up to $2,000 a week and more. And there is high demand right now for people that have great skill in welding. And there's jobs all over the country and right here at home. Now, if you're skilled in other areas, maybe you're a plumber, maybe you're a craftsman of some other type, and you've always thought welding was something that interested you, but you weren't sure, they have a free trial right now for you to experience welding at United Welding Institute. And if this is the right step for you and your family, they'll help you get a GI Bill, a scholarship, or a student loan to help offset the tuition or maybe even pay it in full. United Welding Institute in Pottsville. They have students from all over the country that come here for their training. Contact them today. Set up a free trial, 479-968-3390. That's 968-3390, and they'll walk you through all the steps, and you can figure out if welding's right for you. That's 968-3390, or log on at UnitedWeldingInstitute.com.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times.
We the best.
This is the worst.
It's time for the best and worst of the weekend.
All right, so we'll start with our best of the weekend. I'll kick things off. This past Saturday is the last Saturday until January without college football. Now, I took full advantage of that. We had our Hardee's Thick Burger contest, which was awesome. Big shout-out to two people. Darryl Bailey, the 5-time champion. Only thing that's a knock against him is he's a Sooners fan, but he is headed to the Cowboys-Chiefs game for the football trip of a lifetime. Also want to give props to Tyler Cross now out at Greenwood, the winners of 6 of the last 8. Greenwood Bulldogs not winning just on the field, but off the field as well. And there's just an excitement. I was sitting down, Tommy, yesterday, having some River City, and was talking to Bruce and Michelle a little bit. By the way, Bruce said we need to try that burger that they have. He was telling me he wants to make me one of those because I'm really excited about that. But if you talk food, you're going to get me excited at some point. We had some awesome River City yesterday, but there was this young man sitting next to us named Will who listened to the show with his dad, Wilson, and Will and Wilson were just talking about he is 9 years old, and he has never seen a good Arkansas football team, unless you want to count 2015. Think about that.
Yeah.
He did not know who Tyler Wilson was. Got introduced to Tyler Wilson, and his dad, who obviously probably early 30s, late 30s, knew exactly who Tyler was. This kid didn't know who Tyler Wilson was just because of his age. And that's really the last time that you could say that you had a football team worth just that was nationally competitive. You thought they had a chance in every single football game. It's been 10 years.
I mean, my son's 11, and he doesn't have a working memory of – I mean, he was born in 2010, so he doesn't remember the 2010 and 2011 seasons. I mean, he was an infant. So, yeah, I mean, it's not just a 9-year-old. It's, my son's in 6th grade and has never seen a season that, hey,
more than 8 wins.
We may get to go to the SEC championship game this year. Or, hey, this great thing may happen. He would love to experience that too. So it's probably kids that are 11, 12, 13 years old that really don't have a good working memory of successful Razorback football.
Yeah. So next weekend's going to be awesome because we get to wake up. I don't remember if College Game Day has a location or not. I know Lee Corso is going to be back on location for game day. He was remote this past year, but get to watch football. And I'm so excited for this upcoming season, not just for Arkansas, but from a national standpoint. There's some teams and players and coaches that I want to see how they do this year. So that's my best that we only had this past Saturday. It's the last one without college football.
You get to watch Brett Bielema this weekend. How awesome is that?
Illinois play. I actually was sporting. Now people
that's the big game of the week. There's not a lot of games this Saturday, but that would be the big one.
Now I've told you I have a buddy that was a GA there, so I do have an Illinois shirt. I don't know if I should sport it this weekend or not. Got asked yesterday, who do I dislike more, the Taliban or Chad Morris? And the fact that I had to ponder on that shows you either something seriously wrong with me or how bad the last Arkansas football coach was.
My best of the weekend, not to piggyback on you, but you mentioned the football trip of a lifetime giveaway, and that's always a lot of fun. The area high school teams that come in and compete with each other, and it's always one of our big events over the summer here with ESPN Arkansas. So I was just happy to see, A, everyone back and having a good time, and B, that come to a conclusion. We got some winners in this thing, and now we can get focused in on football. So great job by everyone here and everyone at Hardee's and the teams and everyone that participated. That was probably the best of the weekend, and the thing we focused on the most this weekend was, at least here at the radio station, was that.
So my worst this weekend, I was tasked. I had one of my roommates that had a wedding with his girlfriend. The stepsister of his girlfriend got married, and then another one was at the lake this weekend. So I was tasked to watch their dog, Maggie, who I love. And she's a golden doodle, and 90+% of the time she's a sweetheart. She slept with me on Friday night, woke up the next morning. I had to, of course, squeeze the lemon. And so I thought, Maggie probably has to go to the bathroom too. So I said, Maggie, let's go out. She gets in her crate and huddles up. And I was like, oh no. And for the next 10 to 15 minutes, I tried to get her to go outside, and she wouldn't do it. She started growling. She tried to bite me and all this other stuff. And I told them, never again, never will I watch this dog by myself. Y'all have to deal with it or find someone else to do it, because she just flipped the switch. I don't know if she's going through menopause or what at her age, but it was, she loves me one second.
Why would you come to that conclusion?
And hates me another second. I didn't know what was going on. It was the craziest thing. She's trying to bite me and do all this other stuff, and I was really nice to her. And then the following day, I was like, all right, so we got through that incident. She finally got outside. I let her back in. Saturday rolls around, and I'm leaving. I say, bye, Maggie. I reach down to pet her head, which I've done 1,000 times. She tries to bite me again. And I'm sitting there thinking.
That's a typical female reaction with you is what I would say.
Never, ever watching her by myself again. Ever. Right. That was definitely my worst of the weekend. Just the behavior of our loved Maggie, the way she acted was completely disorderly and out of conduct.
So it's amazing how our best and worst kind of line up, because this weekend, well, let me tell the story. Yes, you want to watch our golden doodle? Apparently we're getting one Wednesday. I wasn't asked, I was informed. So we spent the weekend.
Caved.
I didn't get a say in this. Just here, write the check. That's the say I had. You want to pay with this with cash or credit? How do you want to do it? Because we're doing it.
Yikes.
So this weekend, I'm going to be honest, I kind of protested, didn't participate, but as much. But one way I figured this out. One way to get the house spick and span, all the toys picked up, and all. Hey, we get this. Not because company's coming, not because family's coming over, not because we're going to have a watch party. No, we got a new dog coming Wednesday. We got to get all the things the dog may chew up off the floor. So that was, I guess, the best and the worst. A, the house got picked up a little bit from all the kids' toys strung everywhere. But B, yeah, we got a dog coming. So now I'm glad to know you're a experienced Golden Doodle babysitter. So when I'm out of town, I'll know who to call.
Pay way extra for that. It blew my mind how she flipped a switch like that, where she was loving on me, licking me 1 second, and then I thought she was going to rip one of my fingers off the next second. It was the weirdest occurrence that I've ever dealt with a dog before. So that's pretty fun that we had very similar.
Very similar, because apparently Wednesday's D-Day at my house from the dog, D for dog day.
Picked out a name yet?
Do you think I get saying that?
Who picks? Is it
who picks the name?
Two kids or Laura?
The kids will probably have a lot of say in that.
Okay.
They were throwing some names around. I can't remember them this weekend, but
I have two names that I would name when I do eventually get a yellow lab, because as I grew up with the yellow lab, his name was Montana. The two names that I'm going to go with are Dallas, just because I love Dallas, Texas, a lot of great experiences there, or Riggins after Friday Night Lights. I think Riggins is a good pup, a good dog name. You don't have a dog, do you?
No, I don't.
Did you ever have a dog?
Yeah, I had a dog growing up, and in my family, we named all of our dogs after Orioles players. So my dog growing up was a black lab named Brooks. My parents now have a yellow lab named Palmer after Jim Palmer. Obviously, Brooks is after Brooks Robinson. My aunt had a dog named Callie after Cal Ripken, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
We named them all after. And my brother has a dog named Jonesy after Adam Jones.
Okay. No, I like the Orioles connection. So you don't even get. Can you at least insert an idea,
listen,
or are you just screwed?
You'll learn this someday. You've still got a lot to learn.
You keep bringing up something that doesn't make marriage inviting.
You have a lot to learn in this area because you just don't have the experience. It's not your fault. You just don't have the experience yet. There are only so many chances you actually get a say as a husband. So I'm not going to burn one of those cards on something like a dog name. I'll wait until something of more value to me than that.
How many cards do you get?
It's not enough. Need a full deck, but I think I got like one suit maybe for the whole marriage.
Tommy, I got to be honest. The more that we discuss holy matrimony, the less I want to get. The less I want to get married.
I'm trying to educate you guys. Just listen. This is how it's
not get
going
married.
to be.
Is that
just telling you?
There's nothing. I can't remember the last good thing that you've said about not Laura herself, but marriage itself.
Got to be careful there. Hey, before we go, I want to tell you about our friends at Standard Materials Group. They have immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. They need ready-mix drivers in the River Valley and Fort Smith area, also in the Harrison area as well. So if you're looking to join a great company that has great pay, sign-on bonus, profit sharing, great benefits, you can make a great living being a CDL licensed ready-mix driver. Go to jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group are equal opportunity employers.
Coming up on the Morning Rush, I want to tell you about Malik Hornsby's performance on Saturday.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at wheelsrv.net.
Eagles Nest is coming in hot.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is growing and looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building experience or you have welding skills, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay, health, dental, and vision benefits. Join the top fence building team in the state. The Fence Man. Apply today in person. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. Our #1 volume lure out of our 20 fishing brands is the Bobby Garland Baby Shad. We make them by the millions in our facility in Fort Smith, and the Baby Shad is without a doubt the #1 soft plastic crappie lure in the U.S. Fish it on a light jig head or underneath a float, and you'll find it's as productive as live bait. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. The Bobby Garland Baby Shad.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Have you ever been to River City Bistro for a brunch on the weekends? Every Saturday and Sunday, River City is open at 10 a.m. with a special brunch menu. Eggs and omelets any way you like. Premium bacon, sausage and ham, waffles, eggs Benedict, and a great drink menu featuring mimosas, Bloody Marys, and all your brunch favorites. We will see you for brunch every Saturday and Sunday starting at 10 a.m. at River City Bistro, 7320 Rogers Avenue in the Stonewood Village Shopping Center.
Was your roof damaged by recent storms? Don't fall victim to out-of-town contractors and fly-by-night repairmen. Trust the local roofing professionals at Able Roofing. Call their local number, 474-0006, for a free roof inspection. Never trust something as important as the roofing system on your home to a storm chaser. Able Roofing, 474-0006, will work with your insurance company. Call now for your free roof inspection, 474-0006. Able Roofing, the hometown roofers.
Wheeler Power Sports has you covered this fall with a huge in-stock selection of ATVs, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, motorcycles, scooters, and more. Looking to sell or trade? Wheeler Power Sports is begging for your gently used off-road vehicle or motorcycle. Go to WheelerPowersports.com to check out the full in-stock inventory or give them a call at 479-783-5822. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtech Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtech prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtech Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtech Technology without the headache.
During the month of August, Frank Rowe Furniture is having a store-wide super sale. That's huge savings for everyone. Savings on furniture, mattresses, dining sets, and appliances. Frank Rowe Furniture is also offering discounts on cash and finance through Snap Financing. Only $39 down. You heard right, $39 down. Family-owned and serviced after the sale. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
Did you know that you can get your car serviced or repaired without ever leaving your house? All you have to do is call Jody's Auto Service Center at 479-649-3399. Jody's will pick up your vehicle, service or repair it for you, and return it fully disinfected to your driveway. Pickup and delivery is free for jobs $75 or more. Jobs less than $75 can be picked up and returned for a $10 fee. Let Jody's Auto Service Centers handle all your service and vehicle repair needs. Call 479-649-3399. Jody's Auto Service Center.
ESPN 95.3.
Good morning to the Morning Rush, everybody.
See ya, D-Mac. Hold on, Matt Ryan. D-Mac not looking back. Touchdown. How about that Heisman, Mark Jones? How do you like it? Open again.
I'm going to try this call-in number.
Call or text the Morning Rush at 877-377-6963.
My first official call-in
Malik Hornsby had an impressive scrimmage on Saturday. He is clearly the number 2 quarterback. What did the coaches think about it? What do you think about it? We'll answer that coming up.
Hey, we're not far from watching games together at Joe's Grill and Cantina on South 74th Street in Fort Smith. Great prices at Joe's. I don't know if you've been there in a while and looked at the values on the menu. Just even compare it when you get like food for your crew, food for your family at the drive-thru. One of the national places that have tacos and whatever. You know what I'm talking about. You'll spend $25 or $30 there in a hurry and not have but one sack of food. I mean, it's just amazing. You can go to Joe's and feed your whole crew for, $30-ish, and you get depending on what you get, and you get chips, salsa, and full service and all that. So, when you think about eating out, think about Joe's. It's a great value for your whole family. And they'll have every game on this year, every Hog game on, televised. And when the games are on, half-price apps and taps, which makes the value even better. It's all at Joe's Grill and Cantina, South 74th Street, across from Harps, your place to watch the Hogs.
So we've asked the question with Malik Hornsby not having much playing experience, no starts under his belt. How would you feel if he was suddenly called upon and thrust into a situation where he had to start or play significant minutes? The backup quarterback has been a question mark in the NFL as of late, specifically Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, what that looks like if he was to go down. And I think after the scrimmage, a few of you are a little less worried. Now, we're going to get more in-depth into this conversation with our buddy Clay Henry, the publisher of Hogs Illustrated tomorrow. He wrote a really good piece on that. Malik has this wiggle about him when he can just fly up and down the field, has made a couple good throws. John David White had a 45-yard touchdown. I think Jaquelin Crawford had a 9-yard touchdown, if I'm remembering that correctly. So you want him to develop a rapport, not just with the second and third team wide receivers, but hopefully he can get some reps, and as he did on Saturday with first-teamers as well.
You've seen him in a handful of plays and games. You hear these great practice reports, but he's still not the starter. So, I mean, is it because he's close, but KJ's just that much better? Or, all these great things are not adding up to significant playing time still at this point. So, building for the future and all that, obviously. But, at some point, you'd like to see him maybe get that opportunity like KJ got last year against Missouri. You don't want it to come as a result of injury, but maybe there's a non-conference game where Arkansas is in the clear enough he can play a quarter or it's 3 or 4 series and really see what he can do.
I want to know what Kendall Briles and Sam Pittman are thinking with a package or two if they try and do that, if they try and feature Malik. I think we saw in the Auburn game and maybe one other game this last year where they tried to bring him in and run a play or two for him, and it was unsuccessful, but maybe a year under his belt, and they feel more confident with him, not just to run the ball, but to throw the ball as well, because that's, I think, where people are wondering. But he's made some, and again, videos, they can hype those up. They can make one throw look like he's the best quarterback. Heck, they could probably make you and me look good throwing the football in practice with some of the guys that he's getting. I mean, did you see that Traylon Burks catch the other day?
Yeah, the one-handed catch.
You have all these college football analysts and NFL analysts are just like, wow. They just sit there and they're like,
it's an athletic move.
I cannot wait to watch this guy play this season. So,
right. I mean, and you read about Hornsby making an 80-yard touchdown run. You'd like, who was it against the first, second, third team defense? Who was out there on the other side? And then, did they just not blow the whistle? I mean, there's so many things from a practice you can ask, but clearly there's something there, and you feel like you've got something to turn to in the event of a disaster with your starting quarterback.
Yeah, you'd like to just have the ability, and what you do have with both these guys, and KJ Jefferson, Malik Hornsby, is the threat of running the football. And Malik's a little faster than KJ, but one of the reasons Matt Jones was so successful, he wasn't the most prolific passer. Anyone with eyes can notice that, but he was so good at just making plays when they broke down, scrambled, did what he had to do. If that happens this year, we know that Arkansas's offensive line is going to be better, but they're not going to beat the likes of Alabama or Georgia in year number 2. They still gave up, I think, 34 sacks this past season. They're not going to give up that many this year, but it's not going to have, like KJ Jefferson and Malik Hornsby aren't going to have 10 years to throw the football. They're going to have to make some plays with their legs, assuming KJ is going to be the starter for the majority of the season. And just, again, you gotta read and react, and especially at the quarterback position, sometimes stuff hits the fan. You got to learn how to adjust to it.
Hey, are you looking for a new dentist? Maybe yours is retired. Maybe you're new to the area. You don't know where to go in regards to dental care. Well, let me turn you on to Riley Farm Dental at 5901 Riley Park Drive in South Fort Smith, right at the entrance to Riley Farms. Highway 71, right in that area. Dr. Bo Sparkman, Dr. Brogan, make sure you're comfortable, your kids are comfortable, that it's a great experience every time you visit Riley Farm Dental. They do general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics, all right there. So no need to go to 2 or 3 different dental offices to complete a procedure. They can do it right in-house for you at Riley Farm Dental. So stop in. Find out more at RileyFarmDental.com. Just log on there at your convenience or call 226-3500 and set an appointment. That's 479-226-3500 for Riley Farm Dental.
I've got to set up our pre- and post-game stuff this week, get the imaging, get all the sound and stuff ready, because a reminder that we're going to be live at Randall Ford starting at 8 a.m. next Saturday. So we've got a couple things that I want to tell you about with our podcast, because we have a new one that we're launching this weekend. We'll tell you more later on in the week, and Hog Reaction will be coming back, just the edited version of our post-game shows, and we'll also have Arkansas Game Day as well. We're going to do a 3-hour game or 3-hour pregame for the Texas game coming up, because we've got a lot of focus, got a couple places we're going to be that week. Frank Rowe Furniture, Razorback, or the Stadium Shop on Razorback, and then also we'll be at Farm Credit. So we're gearing up. We're still getting right in the thick of things, and we have a lot planned for you all this fall with this football team. And as so much focus has been on this team, and for deservedly so.
Yeah, 12 days away. So, and I know a lot of fans are excited. Like you said, there'll be some college football this weekend. There's not a weekend until February, till after the Super Bowl, that we don't have some football now.
Yeah, something to look forward to, and that everyone that's going to have their eyes locked into. All right, coming up, we'll wrap up this edition of the Morning Rush, including a crazy headline with the Organian that we started the show with. It is unbelievable. You got to stay tuned.
Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, Highway 412 in Springdale, and online at Wheels.
You know, the start of the season is just around the corner, and if you're into sports betting, Bet Online is where you should go to win some money today. Whether it's live bets during games or future bets on who you think will win the championship, Bet Online has all the latest odds, news, and information for all your online sports betting needs. Visit the website today or use your mobile device to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So before the next big game or before the season starts, head on over to Bet Online and start playing today. That's Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sacalé, paper mouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Tanya Tucker said when she died, she may not go to heaven because she didn't know if they let cowboys inside. Psalm 24 answers her question. Only those whose hands and hearts are pure, who do not worship idols and never tell lies. The only one qualified to meet that standard ascended after he died to pay the way for you to go inside. Believing in Jesus means he won't condemn us, and the only will be hotter than Texas. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Experience different at Sody's Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sody's.
Do you own apartment complexes, condos, and rental property? Then you have made a great investment. Now make another great decision by calling Trinity Multifamily to help you maximize your return. Trinity Multifamily offers full-service property management, marketing, leasing, sales, and all the services to make your cash flow. Take the hassles and frustrations out of ownership and call Trinity Multifamily at 479-452-1817 or online at trinitymultifamily.com. Trinity Multifamily, your teammate in the real estate game.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Would printing from your phone or tablet make your life easier? Are you emailing files to yourself so that you can print them from your desktop or laptop? The Xerox VersaLink and AltaLink lines of network printers and multifunction printers will natively print using your phone's built-in capabilities. Apple AirPrint and Google Cloud Printing just work. To order yours today, give us a call at 783-6600 or visit dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Mosquitoes, bedbugs, termites, are they biting around your home? Well, fight that bite by calling Tri-Hill Turf and Pest Control. 782-0404. We've been servicing the River Valley since 1986. Termite inspections, all at an affordable price, and all estimates are free. Give us a call at Tri-Hills, 479-782-0404.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources. Has the summer heat got you down? Got the back-to-school blues? Well, keep your cool, because I've got a deal to turn that rising mercury into sizzling savings for you. Just choose from a red-hot selection of Rath road-ready vehicles, each one hand-picked and inspected in our Meineke Car Care Center, and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. That discount can go a long ways towards helping you get the nicer, newer car, truck, or SUV you've been wanting at a price and payment you can afford. If you're not ready to trade, let us take care of the car you have in our Meineke Car Care Center with half-off brakes and buy 3 get 1 free on all tires. Better yet, click, call, or come by today and start driving better in a Rath road-ready vehicle and take advantage of discounts up to $5,300 below retail. But don't wait. A smoking deal like this can't last forever and absolutely ends August 31st. Only at Arkansas's favorite used car dealer, Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, 4515 Towson Avenue, Fort Smith, or online at rathauto.com.
Requires bank approval. Negative equity may be refinanced.
ESPN 95.3. The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson and Tommy Crabb.
Davis, first down, a bunch more. There's one of those types of scores as he'll take it the distance. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here and hitthatline.com.
To wrap up today's show, I'd like to leave you with this headline from the Organium. An Alabama man thought he'd been shot by an intruder. It turns out it was his wife's boyfriend secretly living in their house. We'll talk about that story coming up here on a Hot Take Monday.
I got lots of questions here. It's a Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale, Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands and the best prices and a lifetime warranty on every new RV that they sell. It's Wheels RV, again, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV.
The men shot each other and both went to the hospital. Again, he had been living there for over a year. Over a year. The sheriff's office has not uncovered a motive for the wife telling her husband that Amcacker was an intruder. So, and just a wild story as we close down this edition of the Morning Rush. And only it could happen in Alabama.
So, was this a large house, like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet, where you could actually get lost and not see people in the house? It's hard to believe for a year. Number one, that could happen. Or B, were they working different shifts? How do you go a year without noticing someone else in your home? That seems impossible to me.
Is there a room in your house that you seldom go to?
Not really, but I mean, my house isn't that big.
I
mean, I got plenty of room, but it's not that big that I got rooms I don't visit.
Yeah, I know. Like Kenny Chesney has $14 million house.
We got 4 bedrooms, but I mean, there's houses a lot bigger than that.
Yeah,
right.
I can't see a scenario where that gets pushed on our nose. Now, my roommates have been out of town a lot as of late, so but not enough for an entire year. An entire year.
How gutsy from the wife that, hey, just move the boyfriend in and then not tell the husband. I mean, obviously you're not telling the husband. And then they finally run into each other in the hallway or whatever, and the shootout ensues. I mean, hey, I don't know this guy. I mean, it's just, that is a...
Who are you? Who are you?
That is a strange story from Alabama.
Just another... we're talking about joyous parts of marriage. That's just another great part of marriage, right?
I don't think that's marriage right there.
The off chance that your wife...
I don't know what that is, but that's not marriage.
...harbors her boyfriend and cheats on you for at least an entire year. Jeez Louise. All right, so we've talked a lot of football this morning. You'll find it in the Bud Light Seltzer Morning Rush podcast. Kendall Briles, Sam Pittman, they both had conversations about KJ Jefferson. Here's what Kendall Briles had to say about KJ's accuracy.
You know, this summer, the biggest thing that we wanted to work on is continuing to work on his mobility and his accuracy in practice. You know, whenever KJ had some opportunities last year to play, and then when we had scrimmages in the spring, he was very accurate. And when we were in practices, he wasn't as accurate. I think that he's really worked on this summer with Coach Walker and our strength program, getting him stronger and physically more capable. But I really like where he's at from a practice standpoint with his accuracy. You know, with our offense and what we do, I'd like for him to be over 65%. And if we're doing that, then we're hitting pretty good.
It's going to be a pretty good mark to reach, considering Felipe was 68, 67 this past year, single season record for the Arkansas Razorbacks. So I don't know if he's going to be able to do, or was he above 70?
I thought it was 69.7% or something like that. But
it was just a wild statistic that he was associated
single season record for percentage completion. So
that's kind of what you're dealing with the quarterback room. And again, you can find all those interviews, hitthatline.com, our YouTube channel as well as our interviews that you hear on the Morning Rush, Halftime, Ruskin and Zach. All our shows are up there. And I've seen a massive uptick, Tommy, in our subscribers on YouTube just because of how much attention to detail people are paying to not just KJ Jefferson and Sam Pittman, but football season as a whole.
Yeah, and it's gonna continue to grow as we get closer to the season. But as far as can KJ be anywhere near that accurate? I think some of that's going to depend on how many downfield throws, how many chances are you going to take beyond 20 yards. Let's just say, because obviously the further downfield you go, your percentage of completion diminishes. So is Kendall Briles going to draw more of that up? I think when you got a willing runner at quarterback and a guy that can, hopefully be effective at getting you half a first down most of the times he touches the ball, maybe you don't try it downfield as often. But there's going to be matchups where you feel better about that. But that percentage is going to go up the more you stay closer to the line of scrimmage with those throws, obviously.
We had a very similar best and worst of the weekend, and the Kraft household is finally getting a dog. You didn't cave. You were just, this is how it's going to go.
Right. I mean, I had no say in it. This is our third dog. We've had cats for a while. I've had no say in any of this. Cats are fine. I mean, you can go to Memphis for the weekend or go to Branson for the weekend or go somewhere for 2 or 3 days, throw out a bowl of food and some water, and the cats are fine. A dog, you got to be a little more on top of your game. You got to be attentive. You got to take. A dog needs a lot of attention, particularly a puppy. So, yeah, we're going to be on lockdown for a little while.
It doesn't sound like you're too enthused.
You want to be a dog sitter?
I'm good after this weekend.
No dog sitting for you?
I mean,
doesn't pay well, but we'll leave a lot of good food in the fridge.
There'll be will there be some beverages in the fridge?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll ponder it and think about it. So dogs can be hassles, as I found out this weekend. Get a chance to eat with my parents a little later coming up. I haven't seen my dad and my stepmom in a minute. I feel like that's something I haven't seen.
Whose fault is that?
It's my own. Well, no, it's actually your fault because I've had to work on weekends.
That's baloney. You've been gone more than you've been anywhere.
You've
been hanging out with your ancestry at the Hobbit house, like Clay said, with all the other ancient hobbits.
Clay is going to love one of the outros I made tomorrow because remember we were talking about me doing the show on a wakeboard or two behind with the headset, and Clay said hobbits don't ride on tubes or something like that. I made an outro of that, and it pops on when Clay comes on tomorrow, so he's gonna enjoy that a lot, I think. We mentioned some more Arkansas football moves. Landon Rogers is moving to tight end He just did that as of, I think, this past week. He told Kendall Briles he feels like that he can add to depth there. Now, his teammate, Aaron Outley's also at that position.
But been injured, right?
Yeah, been injured. So not just teammate at Arkansas, but former Parkview Patriot as well. So I thought that was pretty cool to see him in that same position as his former teammate as well.
Yeah, and they're obviously still searching for more depth. They'd like to be 4 or 5 deep at tight end, and they got backs, they got Henry there, but they just keep searching, keep moving guys to try to figure out like tight end number 3 and 4. And obviously they've recruited well, but that's down the line, guys that are going to be playing their junior year in high school. So there's been a lot of news on tight ends, particularly with recruiting. But they're still searching this year to figure out who goes in those spots.
Let's welcome in JW in London, who's called in this morning. Now, JW, it looks like you volunteered to be Tommy's dog sitter moving forward.
Because Ty, no disrespect to you, but I know a lot more experience than you do at this.
Probably do,
and probably most things, JW.
Well, no, I'm talking about this specifically. I get along better with dogs, cats, and horses than I do with people. And dogs I get along especially well with because we just kind of understand each other. So I would be like perfect for this job. Now, Ty, again, it takes some real, you have to be able to speak dog, and I don't know if you're quite there yet. But if you can't speak dog, it ain't going to work. I'm just saying.
I mean, he got bit by a dog this weekend, dog sitting. So, I mean.
I did?
Yeah.
Mr. Story,
I've never bit a dog. Now, I have actually bitten a dog on the ear before, but that's an alpha thing.
Say that again. Back that up a second.
You've bitten a dog on the ear?
I've actually bitten a puppy on the ear before, but that's kind of an alpha wolf pack kind of thing. It's not mean or anything. It's just a matter of showing dominance.
It doesn't sound nice.
To show you're dominant?
Yeah. I mean, there can only be one alpha male in a household, and sometimes these puppies kind of want to test the water, and so you just have to let them know. And after that, it's all okay. We're all friends. We get along. But that's just the nature of the dog pack. And, and I love dogs. I think I love dogs. Well, I know I love dogs more than most people because they are a direct gift from God. Once we discovered fire, dogs hung out with us because it protected them at night, and wolves became dogs then. And it was a very, very cool part of human development. But anyway, I'm just volunteering for the job just in case, but I got to go because I got to go do some work.
I'll put you on the list, JW. I don't know. I don't want my dog bitten on the ear. I ain't even met this dog yet.
It's the alpha male.
I've made the down payment. That's as far as I've gotten at this point. Been told, though, the rest of the payment would be made.
Josh would like to know, as he replies on our Twitter live stream, what JW's on. I think Joe and Avoca is the only one that calls into ESPN Arkansas at hitthatline.com that's on something.
JW seems like one of those guys that could be living in the house for a year in Alabama, right?
I think that there's
he could fall in that bucket, maybe.
There's a chance that could happen. Now, he talked about alpha males, which I thought was an interesting way to look at a dog because I feel like that ownership over a dog just gives you the ultimate entitlement to alpha male. So if you're big, you know what, in a public atmosphere, and Bobby Portis, for example, threw out the first pitch for the Brewers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your choice. I'll open this up for you as well, Drew. You have a chance to throw a first pitch. You have a chance to have like a quarterback throw to a wide receiver running a route, or you have a chance to shoot a basketball three-pointer. Those three options.
What was the first option again?
First pitch, basketball three-pointer, or throwing it to a wide receiver that's running around. Or no, we'll make it stationary. We'll just make one of those football, whatchamadinkis, what are those things called? Nets?
Yeah, like the Dr. Pepper challenge.
Yeah, the Dr. Pepper challenge like that.
Yeah.
3 stationary objects or competitions. You got one that you think you could excel the most at. What would it be?
What's the distance on the football throw?
20 yards?
No, I think I'd have to go with the first pitch.
Baseball?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Well, you've seen me play basketball, so obviously I'm not taking the 3-point shot there.
You bank threes.
Yeah, I bank them in. That's more of luck than anything.
I think we are playing today, by the way.
All right. I'll take first pitch. I've done first pitch before, so I'm already pretty confident in my ability to do it.
I would do the basketball three-pointer. closely followed by football and then
See,
baseball.
with baseball, there's a lot of grace on what's successful and not successful. In basketball, it either goes in the hoop or it doesn't. It passes through the net or you failed. Football, same thing. So I think I'd go with I think you got a little more grace for victory there.
Jason texted in. He said it's his first time listening this morning. He's like, are we going to talk football or poodles? What kind of show is this? He also said...
We're just setting you up for the afternoon show
he
there,
said,
Jason.
My first time listening, it was fine at first, and then it got weird. I guess he was referring to
JW biting a dog. Yeah, I had to back that one up, too.
This is pretty interesting.
Hey, we make a great second impression around here.
Phil said, by the way, it's not.
Yeah, come back tomorrow.
Phil texted in because his brother-in-law is an AD over at Oregon State. It's not Oregonian, it's Oregonian. Just wanted to, what's the Tony Kornheiser and Michael Wilbon, the omission and errors. So we close out today's show.
Pools and Spas is your source for backyard fun. Cool off in your own above-ground pool this summer. Cash and carry savings at only $19.99. Don't